Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, December 6, 2021. Time is 7:02. Before we get into the agenda, I would like to have a moment of silence for the passing of Louis Tassino. Thank you, he will be missed. So, under discussion, orders to be signed. I think we'll hold that till the end. Got some stuff. Meeting minutes, do you want to hold to the end also?
I would prefer because...
And then we do have a packed agenda, so if everyone could be really concise with their presentations, and if something is unclear or needed, we're going to move on to the next thing, because we don't want to be here all night. So I appreciate everyone's cooperation, and also on remote as well. So first item, 7 PM, public hearing continued, 39 West Street, 64 Depot Street, violation restoration update.
Do we need a roll call?
Sure. Les, if you could just hold on. For attendance, we'll do roll call vote.
Eric Harris here.
Art Mopney here.
Mike Greco here.
Mark Mungem here.
KG Dudley, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Sorry about that.
Real quick, can the table give me sharing privileges?
Good to go.
So Steve, did you want to start explaining where we're up to date here, what's happened? Steve, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, is my video coming up?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so this area to the left, pretty much the order conditions right where the driveway is was a liminal disturbance. They did some clearing last summer, came in for a violation notice, had 2 or 3 meetings. I think Mr. Stevens is representing the owners of the property. The commission approved a restoration plan for them to pretty much put some seed mix down here and just to vegetate back towards normal standard, I think was the intention of the commission. There might have been some discussion on placing some little bit of loam down in some of the areas to help generate the seed. I got a call from one of the neighbors and I went out there and this is what was being put down, which we wanted to make sure this was the intentions of the commission when they approved the restoration plan. Looks like there's a lot of rubble, a lot of stone.
So initially, if you could get me up to speed, when the violation occurred, did the board vote for an informal restoration and spec out what they wanted to see? Or was it
Yeah.
submitted as a
No,
plan?
No.
Yeah, but I might have I can bring the plan up, so let's see.
I had agreed to remove some tires and
Yeah.
add a third hardwood.
Yep. Yeah. 3 trees, 3 bushes, and so if Steve goes back to the picture.
What was the material spec to use?
So it was the material that we talked about was the loom, and there's loom tailings there that because the roughness of it was to flatten out. So I could show you that where the area is and the amount that's going to be spread across. It's only.
So this is the restoration.
Yep. Yeah. So explain where the work's to be done. Basically, you got 50. I can show you this here. So from the street here to this area here is basically because of the regrind asphalt. You want to pull that back and get that out of the area, away from the tree area. And because of the disturbance where the trees were removed in this area here, it caused a lot of the ruts and stuff like that. So the loom tailings would flatten that across, and then we would spread the loom so it would only be about 2 inches, 2.5 inches thick on it, to be able to support the recommended seed that they wanted to use, what recommended. Instead of using grass seed, we talked about using the natural growth seed for the area. So the work is outside the 50 buffer zone of 50. The person who reached out to the board and asked the question is not on a butter, not even a property owner in town.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm just clarifying.
Moving on.
So we're trying to do this, the bushes that were, the bushes and trees are already on site. So the material where it was placed was to be able to bring over and to adjust this area here because there's a gully here because of the disturbance.
There was no grading plan that showed that the gully was going to be filled.
Yeah. So we're bringing the loom to top the loom across. So it's about 2.5 inches at the end of the day.
So Mark, what was your understanding of the restoration? The scope?
I don't think you were present?
I was not present.
Okay,
I've seen the plans. I was
Yeah.
not present for the presentation.
okay.
But I don't, from my review of the plans, what was approved, I did not see that there was to be imported material such as what he just explained. What do you call it?
It's loom and loom tailing.
Loom tailings. Loom tailings, and what is the gravel pile that's there as well?
That's loom. So
No, there were 3 piles there.
So the other one's the other one is crushed stone that you use along the roadside berm, because, so you don't have, basically, on the roadside, so you don't have any disturbance, because you try to stop any material going across there. So town uses it in areas where you're blending in from the pavement to the property. So that's all that is. So I'm just trying to address this. If you don't want the loom tailings in there, then, and I can spread the loom there and remove the tailings and I'm just trying to preserve, because there was a lot of divots and ruts that were done, and it's not, the material is really going between the street and to the trees to the house. That's really where the disturbance was. Okay, where it was placed to drop off was so it could be put on site, so we can move the material around and create an area where the water and everything like that's not headed to those trees that are healthy there and damaging those trees, which would rot out. So the new plantings would be along that area. Between, what we talked about is roughly about 5 feet off the road, and that's where the plantings are. The trees, there's the 3 hardwood trees, there's, and the 3 bushes there, and the other material. So all of the material to put the site back into where it should be is on site. Now, if you've got a concern with the loom tailings, I can remove that material or majority of the material and use spottingly to fill in where the ruts are, because where the ruts are is between the trees and the house, where the disturbance was, a lot of it. So right in that area, and bringing back the regrind asphalt, so.
Okay, so I see that October 18th, there was waiting on update plan information, and then it was replacing damaged removed trees with 2 hardwood trees, 3 vegetation shrubs. Katie Grace Studley requests 3 trees and seed mix, not grass seed.
Yep.
So can we just do that and not bring in and remove the tailings?
Okay, we'll remove the tailings, done.
Steve,
Front of the door.
Yeah,
is that what your impression was that was going to be done, the activity, the scope?
my impression is we'll go back to where, try to get it back to where it wasn't just, how it was when it wasn't disturbed, when we got the certificate of compliance. And all they did was some little underbrush, and that they were gonna plant some trees to bring it back and then not touch it, not use it for
Parking.
anything but.
Well, no, yeah, there's no intent to use it for parking or any storage and stuff like that. That's not the goal. And I didn't, because of the amount of disturbance and the ruts that were there.
Yeah.
There was more than to deal with. So if I put down loom there, then you're gonna have 6 inches, 8 inches of loom, which is what you don't want, because that's only gonna entice grass to grow and stuff like that. That's why we're going with a thinner spread of the loom across there. That's what-
Steve, did you want to say something else?
No, I think, there was talk about bringing in a wildlife seed mix,
Yeah.
conservation seed mix, which I gave them, which was being used on one of the other projects, and was spec'd out, and I think the loom was just to help that generate.
Correct.
But I don't think it was, the intention was I think it was a surprise that there was so much material that was brought in. There was no grading plan. Yeah, I think the purpose was just to say, okay, no more clearing, bring it back to, to a point where
Previously
over the
disturbed.
years it was revegetated naturally. It's not going to be disturbed.
So I'll remove the tailings if that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've done 10 of these projects in this town.
Yeah.
Have no issues, so I'll spread the loom, which is going to be roughly about 2 inches across the base, and put down the wild growth
Yeah,
seed, if we're good with that.
and the plantings.
Just
And
make sure
plantings.
there's no new topsoil spread underneath the trees that are within the
Yeah.
replication area.
Replication. There's no replication. Oh, you
Not
mean
replication,
planting?
I'm sorry. in
The
the
restoration.
restoration
Oh.
area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't want to
Understood.
bury the roots and kill the tree.
No,
that are-
not at all. That was the whole goal. That was the goal to be able to have that material. to
Yeah, I
turn
think
around.
the fill
Okay.
brought in would need to be brought out, and,
Yeah.
with these kind of
Yep.
little bit more laxed ideas,
Okay.
kind of gets, so you've
there
presented.
was nothing to suggest that we needed any grading, which is why that wasn't addressed, so.
Okay, so on this submitted, the newly submitted plan, is this old or
This is
new?
the restoration, this is the current restoration plan that we had all agreed to.
Okay, so we're gonna stick with this.
Yep.
No
Yep.
grading, no additional fill.
Yep.
And then the additional fill that was brought in needs to be removed.
Just the tailings and spread the loam across, right?
Yeah, and if we can just add a bullet proposing the following, removal of the material that was brought in.
You want to remove all the material that was brought in, or just the tailings?
The
Well, I
tailing,
Tailings.
didn't see
Okay.
loam.
Correct.
Yeah,
Was there loam
just
on the?
Yep, okay, just the tailings. We're
Correct.
good, all right.
And the tires have been removed?
Yes, the tires were removed. I'm trying to pull back the asphalt because they
No.
regrind asphalt
have
in that area.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean,
just
and try to
wanna
pull
date
that back to
this,
kind of not have it go towards the oils and everything like that, towards the trees or anything like that, so, okay, all right.
just real quick, Steve, the seed mix that's in the folder is a wetland plant seed mix, but what you recommended for him was a shade mix, or is this it?
Should not be wetland.
That's what I'm getting at, is
Yeah.
it shouldn't be wetland, it should be the shade mix that we talked about.
Native
Was the shade- I
planting.
believe I gave him specs for the shade.
Okay,
It's the
that's
same
fine,
one.
as long as that's not the one that's in the one that's in the Dropbox folder is incorrect. As long as the one that you gave him is correct, we're good.
I gave him, right, I gave him one that I think that was being used on the Shore Road one, which is all canopy.
No, and I think that that's great, I just,
Yeah,
making sure that it wasn't this one, because this is a
Tailings.
wetlands one.
yeah, no,
I'll resend it to him.
Great,
Okay.
all right.
And I'm gonna put this, I'm just adding a date and remove tailings.
Yep, fair enough,
This is going in the folder, so hopefully we can
Yep.
make it happen.
all right, perfect.
For next
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Don't wanna hold you up. Thank you so
Good
much.
luck. What's it?
that came with that.
Oh,
Yours now too.
oh, perfect. Okay, moving right along. 7 PM, public hearing continued, 39 West Street. It was 62 Manchog Street, entrance moved to 39 West Street, St. Denis Church, earth removal. Possible votes.
Mark's here, but they asked for continuance.
Okay, is that in a folder?
No, they just, it just came all over the mail. Mark's here, he can officially
Okay.
ask for it.
Hi, Mark, you can name and address.
Associates here representing the applicant, Pine Sand and Gravel. Yeah, they just kindly asked that we get continued to their January meeting. The attorneys are working through the language of the agreements between the applicant and the owner, so they just need a little bit more time to iron out exactly what they want. So I apologize for the delay.
Would you like January 24th or the 3rd? 3rd or the 24th?
The third open, I think there's more than enough time.
Are you going to request another continuance? Can you predict the future? Yeah,
If you're swamped on that meeting, we'll take the second meeting.
okay, sounds good. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we continue the 39 West Street project to
January.
January 24th, is it?
Yep,
Say it.
okay, at 7 PM, so a date,
At
a
7.
time certain too. At 7, motions made by,
Art, seconded by Mike.
seconded by Mike. Roll call.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
So quiet.
Mark
Mike.
Monjamai?
Mike,
Mike Rocco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Okay, let's do request for certificate of compliance, DEP number 143-0987, 29 Laurel Glades. Steve?
Are you right?
That's not what I have.
Yeah, I'm skipping over.
Oh, okay. Which
I'm the
which one?
chair.
Which one are you at?
We're at
Number 7.
7.
Number
Skip 5 and 6.
Okay, just gotta let us know where you're going.
No, I understand.
Item 5.
Yeah, I'm going to item 7.
She's switching.
Oh, you are. So
Yes, thank you, yeah. So they've submitted the request. We have an as-built. 29 Laura Glades, is someone here for that?
Yes, Byron Andrews, Andrews Survey and Engineering.
Hi.
So we have submitted a previous as-built, but the commission requested that we put the proposed locations of the house, septic, and other features on it, which we did. You can see the proposed locations for the features shown in gray. The only one that you can't see is the proposed house location, and that's because the as-built house location is in the same precise location as the proposed one. Because of the zoning variance, we set the house in the exact same location as was proposed.
I gotta find this one.
I don't have anything in my
They were in
file.
order for what Steve had.
Steve, do we have anything in our file for this, or is it just online?
He's muted again.
Wow, this is it. Painful. This is like this the whole time?
Been gone for a little while. I'm sorry, we didn't have red lines before, so this is.
Okay, so there's an,
what would you like, Tracy? Would you like the file?
there was the as-built plan was submitted, the request for the certificate, the engineer letter of substantial compliance, everything was submitted?
Yeah, but all that stuff is, so that I have it on the screen, so the original as-built, they submitted this probably about 3 months ago.
Oh.
Went out, took photos, showed it was at the last meeting. The issue with the as-built is that they did not have, they had this, the as-built in red, as you see on my screen, but they did not have the proposed plan underneath. And so there were some questions, and I think Mark had with the septic system and how it met with the Laurel Glades in the road and whatnot. So we were waiting for the correct as-built plan that showed the proposed plan with the red light on top.
Okay, so this revised plan satisfies the board's concerns,
In terms of what we were looking for in a plan, yes.
and it's been substantially compliant with the proposed?
I mean, the house isn't exactly, is in the exact location, the septic's in approximately, the grading is close enough, the trees are close enough.
Everything's stable?
The paver stands out as a, the original plan didn't have a paved patio.
Is that within the 100?
Yeah, the water's right here, this is water.
Oh, that's water. Oh.
So, I mean, that's,
So was that additional work done outside the scope of the order? Byron?
Yes, the original plan did not show that paved patio, so since the original order references the plan, I believe that was not part of the notice of intent approval.
Are those permeable pavers? Because you said paving, but it says paver patio. There's supposed to be 4 trees to be planted.
I'm Brian Devlin,
they're
owner of the
over
property,
here,
29 Laurel Glades.
here, and here.
Those pavers are just regular unilock pavers that we put down. Those were put down due to the ground being disturbed when we removed the existing building that was there. So we wanted to reclaim that ground, and so we put pavers down.
I mean, this is behind a retaining wall. And there
There's a
was
picture of it right here.
Okay. Oh. Do you see the
That's the.
What's the structure that was taken down, where the pavers are?
It was a previous shed that was there.
So they have not increased the permeable
Yeah,
surface
yeah.
because they were building there before.
Okay. Board, do we have any issues with this request?
Well, what was proposed for there? What was proposed for that area?
4 trees?
They were gonna put
2 trees.
2 trees in there, and they ended up putting the trees elsewhere.
We put one tree, 2 trees on the right-hand side of the property and then 2 on the left.
Right, so they ended up putting, you can't see with that, but
Yeah. Well, in my
there were
opinion,
supposed to be 2 trees there, and they ended up putting them
And grass?
across the lawn.
And
of the
grass.
Yeah.
and they put pavers there? That's not in compliance.
It's not what was on the plan.
It's not what was on the plan, it's not in compliance, in my opinion.
So,
Is this order expired? Steve?
I don't think you were expired.
Can you mute that, please? I think it's Bob. Thank you.
Let's see.
also, why,
2019. December of 19.
Did they ask for an extension? Oh, it's only been 2 years.
They're asking for a certificate of compliance.
it's 2021 still.
Okay. So I guess we want to determine if installing the paver patio would warrant an amendment to the existing order of conditions.
It's that, and then also, I would like to consider the trees. The 2 trees that would have been planted would have theoretically provided shade to the water, and where they've ended up putting the trees, one's way back here, and then the other 2 are over here. Only one of the trees is actually in the area that it was supposed to be. The other 3 are at least 50 feet away.
Okay. If the owner could tell us why you decided to relocate all those trees away from, that they were to serve as a bank shading
Yep.
along the res.
I did speak with Steve on this when we were planting the trees, and I believe he agreed that they were okay where we positioned them. It just, with that hill coming down and the runoff of water, we just kind of wanted to slow things down a bit, and we felt that was the best way. There was a pre-existing wall there where the dwelling was, the building.
Oh, yeah, no, there's multiple
Just
retaining.
leveling that area off and planting grass and held everything up on that hill.
I mean, we ask people to come before us if they're going to take down a single tree along the water. This person has built a paved patio right at the water's edge. I just don't understand how we can
It's
ask
not
other
per the
people
plan.
to come before us and then not have them resubmit this.
Byron, did you submit the substantial compliance letter? Did you sign that letter?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so could you tell us how you're signing as substantially compliant for this plan with the changes at the resource area? The trees and the patio?
Yeah, I mean, my thought was because it was the building there, it's not interfering any further, and I was looking at the number of trees that would be planted, and the trees were planted in other locations. So I was considering that equivalent.
I mean, it's equivalent, so I think that you could argue that it was equivalent to like what was there, but you can't argue that it's equivalent to what was in the plan, and what we approved was a plan. And I think that's the issue I'm struggling with, is I can understand that the pavers versus the building are an equivalent amount of non-permeable surface, but the plan that we approved had less non-permeable surfaces and more trees. So yeah, it's fair to compare it to what was there, but it's not fair to compare it to the plan that we approved.
That's the building.
I think so.
Okay, so board, what do we want to do here? So the decision is we grant the certificate of compliance for substantially compliant with the plan. We do not, and they either amend the active order of conditions, or they come in with a modification, a minor modification to the plan that was approved, showing some sort of compensation for that, or removal of the paved patio, the pavers.
But this is what it looked like before.
It was that weird, that deck structure over the shed.
It's like a boat can pull up?
No, the boat's over here.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Oh, it's just like a
very tall.
lookout?
Yeah.
So the shed looks like 10 by 8-ish.
Bigger.
So board, opinion?
I say we don't approve it
Why?
tonight because he did something not according to what we approved before.
So what is your suggestion?
He should resubmit it for a minor modification.
Okay, all right. Who,
I'm kind of on the fence on this one.
So this is what, do you see the photo? This is what it looked like before.
yeah. Mike?
It's not what was proposed.
Okay. Mark?
I agree with what Eric said.
Okay. Figures?
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see a modified plan.
So if we should tell the applicant if they are going to prepare something for us, we should try to have a conversation about what we want to see. So if we want to consider a newly submitted plan as a minor plan change to the original plan, what is it we're looking for?
Absolutely, and speaking at least for myself, one of my major issues is the tree locations. One of the locations where that tree was planted, well, okay, so there's 4 tree locations, and the one location where a tree was planted close to the water is right next to another tree. And like, I know you showed one of the pictures, there's an existing tree right here, and you planted another tree right next to it, and I don't think it's gonna do well under the shade of the other, there's another tree here, and it's right next to the paver. So I think that's a non-ideal location. However, that's the only one that's actually close to the water. I think that these 2 maples should have been, I wanna see more shade trees close to the water because there aren't the 2 shade trees on the patio. So if the amended plan still includes the patio, because I imagine you don't want to rip the patio out, what I would want to see is additional trees closer to the water, and I would like to see some plan for the water drainage off the patio. Where is that going? Is it going, through the wall somehow? Is it going over the wall? Is it going around? Like, I want to know what plan there was there, because this was hoped to be a permeable area, and now it's not. So,
And then the calculation of the previous impervious from that shed footprint versus the increase of impervious. And probably a couple more trees.
yep.
Is there an opportunity to?
Yeah, there
Get some-
could have
get
been
You guys are
trees
willing to
here.
walk the property with me?
Yes.
I feel like this has been going on for a long time, and it just keeps getting continued. Nobody's come up to see anything, and now we're back to square one, I feel like.
Yeah, can we go at our leisure? Are you home? Is this occupied or?
Definitely willing to meet with you guys, just so we can kind of get on the same page with everything. Whatever works for you guys would be great.
Why don't, Steve will get back to you on our date and time, because I gotta see what else we need to do a site walk for. Okay? So the plan, you need to offer something to compensate for that paved area, the paver area. So,
My belief of doing the paver, it was just the area that was covered by the deck on the previous building, so I felt like it was similar to what we had before.
But then your feelings should have been in the plan.
Right, you should have identified that on your plan when you submitted the NOI.
Then there came up in discussion with when we first started, and we did discuss taking the building down, and just nothing was brought up.
yeah,
Because we were very happy with the 2 trees that were there.
yeah, there were trees to
Grass.
catch
I
the,
liked the plan that was submitted.
so I think the board is not requiring you to remove those pavers, which you would either probably remove them or you would have to refile. So we're trying to work with you on what is existing and come to an agreement. So more trees, the calculation, so that we have a paper trail of what we decided, because we're not going to remember. And the shed that was there is a lot smaller than the patio that is existing now. So we'll let you know, Byron, you're pretty clear on what we're requesting, and we'll let you know when we're available for the site walk. We'll give you a couple times, and then Steve will reach out and make sure that you can meet us at an agreeable time. Okay? Yeah, and we'll get it sorted out. It's,
Are we continuing this, or?
there's no public hearing. But yes, we'll put it on for the next agenda item, and we'll schedule the site visit before the next meeting, before the 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
It says
And then you
public-
guys talk, between the 2 of you and come to, terms on what you want to offer and what you suggest, so.
I'm flexible with anything you guys recommend too, so.
Okay.
You said you wanted more trees, you tell me what you want.
All right.
Katie Grace wants more trees, for sure.
Yep.
So, I mean, we want to make it look nice, too. So, we want it to be nice.
It looks pretty nice right now, but yeah, definitely, I'm flexible.
Well, yeah. But we don't want to put a tree where it's inconvenient either. Okay, so we'll communicate through email, or you can stay on to hear when we're planning on going.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Is that okay with everybody? Good? Good? Mark? Good? Half good? There's
Half good.
three options here, so.
Yes, there are.
Okay. Next item. 7 PM, public hearing, continued notice of intent, 175 Southwest Main Street. So we have a revised plan this afternoon, right? Is anyone here to present that plan? Okay.
Skipping over number 6.
Yeah,
Yes.
5 and 6. Going to number 8.
Yeah, I've got a conflict.
Yeah, 175 Byron here, we just got some, so we had an updated plan, I submitted, it should be in everyone's folder regarding the, it should be a letter from the applicant engineer regarding the floodplain. There should be a letter, a new updated plan, and then there was comments from Mark, which he was absolutely correct, because we mentioned that during the site walk. I think Katie, we were on there about how the wetlands they weren't shown around the corner of the property.
Right.
So I think that was resubmitted today, late today, so let me see if I can bring that up.
Oh, I saw that.
Maybe this is the plan from today. Yeah, it shows the wetlands to the left and to the right.
No, I don't mind it all. But I have to make sure
Is
it's
this on the
the right
screen?
one.
It is.
Byron, you want to walk through what's going on?
Sure. So following our previous site visit, we had discussed the idea that the area which is shown here as the area in green, and actually a little further out from that as well, had been excavated when Mr. Moran put his yard in. You can really see that, you can really picture that when you're standing there, you know, and seeing the steep banking to the left where the pine tree grove is. So what we did is we did two things to the plan. We estimated the volume of fill that was removed, and that's, again, that's shown in green, starting at the top of the knoll and coming down at an even grade to the corner of the foundation. In point of fact, it was probably more that was removed, but we didn't want to, we wanted to be conservative in our estimate. So we estimated that volume to be about 159 cubic yards.
That's right.
And then the second thing we did is we brought down the elevation of the garage floor from 503.5 to 500.5. So we lowered that down 3 feet, which removed a lot of the fill that we had designed to be put in there. And the only thing we did with the design is we are showing a small swale there to the left of the garage, just to provide, you know, stormwater flow around the garage so it doesn't run into the garage. And when we did that, we found that what had theoretically been removed is 159 cubic yards, and what we brought in is 149 cubic yards. So actually this layout has 10 cubic yards more storage than we believe was present before the yard was graded out.
Okay, thank you. Steve, any other comments, questions?
I don't.
Okay. Board? Eric?
No,
Alright.
we did a site walk out here, and I think this takes care of it.
Okay. Mike?
Okay,
Mark?
I'll go with what he said.
So what is the solid dashed line, or the bold dashed line? Is that limit of work?
That would be limited work.
And that has.
So the
silt
work
fence
limit
and
has
stormwater.
come in on the western side of the property?
Yes, on the previous plan, the work limit was right up against the property line,
Right.
which is probably about 40 feet further out than we're having it now. And I know Mr. Moran, you know, I think you remember at the meeting he expressed how much he enjoys having the trees, and you can see that he's planted shrubs in that area. So I'm sure he's not going to be motivated to push that work area out any further. If anything, he'd probably keep it a little closer to the garage if at all possible.
Right.
Great, thank you.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience or online have any comments or questions regarding this filing? Not seeing any. I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So,
So moved.
seconded.
Made by Art, second by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mungimai?
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. Entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we issue the order of conditions based on the newly updated plan for 175 Southwest Main, which should satisfy the floodplain restoration.
Okay, motion's made.
Seconded.
Second by Katie Grace, roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much, good luck. Steve, you'll have that for us to sign?
Next meeting.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay. Do you want to do old business now? Or do you want to do new business? Want to do new business?
Why don't we just skip what's wrong with 9? Let's finish
Oh,
with
well,
business.
yeah, this is a conflict,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
That's fine. All right, what's... Yeah,
Main Street, okay.
Would you want to go next?
we're skipping
Oh,
9,
yeah.
going to 10.
And Steve, I don't think you have 32 Cottage Colony notice in here either.
Well, it's a continuation.
Do you read the notice?
Probably.
It's a continue.
That wasn't added? That wasn't correctly
No, I read it when
advertised?
we opened it.
Oh, okay. All right, whatever.
Wait, is that the one that was bad?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was re-advertised.
Oh, then I
Yeah.
need to read it, we need to read it one. 17.
Yeah, if you could print that for us, that would be great.
Didn't have a DEP number.
We'd be happy to read it again correctly. No, it's fine.
Okay,
I did read it at one point, it's just the wrong one.
okay, all right. So should I go into new business?
Yeah.
And then I can-
I'm
okay. All right, 7 PM, public hearing, notice of intent, 128 Vine Street, new dwelling, Orbson Corp., Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on December 6, 2021, at 7 PM for an NOI filed by Orbson Corp. located at 128 Vine Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of a single-family house and appurtenances. Proposed construction activities are within 100-foot buffer zone of an isolated land subject to flooding. Public participation, it's per Douglas Bylaw. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the NOI may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205, November 18th, 2021. Okay. Name and address, and you can come on over.
Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, you're representing Orbison Corp., and where's the best place to,
Should probably just put it on the table for now,
okay. It's been a while since I've been doing live meetings.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have an easel.
We do not. We do, it's up
behind you.
there,
Yeah,
but
it's-
that's fine,
Somebody else's meeting.
from afar.
Okay, so this is for a proposed four-bedroom house up there on Vine Street. There is an existing area, depression in the front of this lot that goes right over to Pine Street. If any of you are familiar with that area, you'll notice that it floods maybe once a year. So we had the topo for this lot, and I did my best guesstimate on the adjacent parcel. But basically, there is it does meet the criteria for an isolated land subject to flooding, which means you have to have 10,000 cubic feet of volume. And this does meet that criteria. And I also provided drainage calcs to also demonstrate through calculations it would meet that criteria also. So basically, just to get your bearings, here's Vine Street. Here's the driveway that runs along the property line and adjacent to the isolated land, up to the proposed house and septic. And behind the the proposed house is an open field. So basically, I was out there several times this summer when this thing did fill up during all those rains, and I actually flagged it, the lateral extent of that area, and then we went back out and surveyed that, and then that's when we came back in and I did the calculations to see if it meet the criteria. So basically, under the state regulations, isolated lands do not have buffer zones, but per the Douglas bylaw, you do have a buffer zone. So I did show the 25-foot and the 50-foot and then the 100-foot buffer zone, and I kept everything outside that 50-foot buffer zone except the driveway, which comes right along the property line and outside that depressed area. Steve did have a comment regarding the erosion control, and I did move that, so it's right along the proposed driveway.
So you can't move the driveway,
No, here's the property line.
right?
So actually, yeah, we just made it. Everything right here just all flows this way into this depression over to Pine Street. And probably years ago, before Pine Street was there, it probably flew that way, but Pine Street kind of entraps it.
And you saw the updated comment sheet, so the project is partially located in an open field. Has any alternatives been discussed to move the project into the cleared field area, lessen the amount of trees clearing in the buffer zone?
Yeah, well, the house is outside the buffer zone, and there really isn't that much backyard in that field. It's probably about 100 feet from the edge of the house to the back property line. So pretty much the house is right along the tree edge, and then I had the septic just a little down gradient to maintain gravity.
So I see the tree line, so where's the field? Is
Right here,
on the backside?
right.
Okay. So alternatives have been
It was
discussed?
considered, but the potential homeowners may want to build a pool in the back, you know? And another reason I put the house here, so it kind of lines up with the other house right next door.
Okay.
There's an isolated wetland in the field?
No.
There is not an
No,
isolated
there's-
wetland.
there's-
No,
This
no,
is
it's
the
down,
field.
it's down,
This is the tree
I'm
line.
looking at
This
that,
way.
so it's
Oh.
too big. I'm just, because I can't, the scale is different here. It's too far away to be considered, is what we're
Oh,
getting
so in the back
oh,
left
yeah,
corner
that's
is far away.
yeah, far away.
So it's
at.
100,
That's fine,
yeah,
that's a good
yeah, sorry.
answer.
yeah, the 100 feet is to the property line, so if
Yep.
you just went 100.
No, that's fine, yeah, no,
There's
too
not
far
no-
away is a
okay.
good answer.
Yeah.
It looks like a pool. Okay. Does anybody else want to see the hard copy? Eric? All right. Mike? Mark? Oh, you got one. Okay. Board, any questions, concerns? This is under our local bylaw only. So the order will say local bylaw.
What's the
Jurisdictionally.
difference between an ILSF and a bordering vegetated wetland? How's that determined?
Bordering actually borders a river or a stream, so when the streams overflow, it
Yep.
fills the floodplain, where isolated, it's just depressions usually, that doesn't border anything.
Not
a
hydrologically
wetland.
connected.
It's not a wetland.
No, there's a mixed bag of plants in there.
It is a land that it can be wet, it is not necessarily a
Right,
wetland.
it's a depression,
Yeah.
It is a resource area under the
Like what we're-
Protection Act, and it's
It's still a resource area, it's a,
It's like COVID.
54
That's what we're in. A depression.
There's just no buffer zone.
It doesn't meet the criteria for BVW,
understood.
vegetation, or vegetation and soils. Okay. Did you get Board of Health approval yet?
yes.
Okay, great. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions, concerns on this filing? Anyone online for 128 Vine? Not seeing any. We got a stockpile area.
We do. I have,
Slurry?
this might be a silly question, because you're gonna
No,
tell me
no.
it's very far away.
No slurry pit needed.
Oh, no, okay. How close are you to the cemetery on Pine Street?
Which one?
I always ask, the one that's closer to your house.
It's at the corner.
It's right on the corner.
That's correct. So I would say that's at least 200 feet away.
Great.
It's on the other side of the isolated wetlands.
So there's one here, but there's also one here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, okay.
But
Yeah.
200 feet away sounds accurate.
Yeah, okay. Okay, board, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing. Steve, you all set?
Before,
Okay.
is the erosion control barrier the limit of work?
It's, the erosion control barrier is that pink line that comes around, and then as soon as I get up to the 100-foot buffer zone, then I have construction limits. So,
No,
then actually on,
it's not. So the construction limits.
yeah, on the other side of the driveway, I should have
Yeah.
erosion control. Okay, so coming up through the driveway should have erosion control on both sides. If you want me to
Yes.
change the plan, I can do that.
Well, we shouldn't be on someone else's property either, anyway. So as far as limiting the work, activity should not be on someone else's property.
Well, there's construction limits in turquoise.
Yeah,
on the
it's
side.
not, it's just a designate. That's
Yes,
the
I'm not
limit.
on anybody else's property.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Erosion control.
as far as what would the purpose be to do another
guess
row
it
of
would
erosion
really-
controls?
Just-
When you should be not on somebody else's property anyway, so you're gonna stop your work at that spot
Correct.
anyway. So you should not have any dirt going that way.
Correct.
And the resource, local resource is on the other side.
Right, we're just making sure that we're covered, yeah.
So,
I don't think it's
So
necessary.
the entire construction area is either has erosion control, or I do have a construction limit line around it. The limits of work.
so is there a way for us to make sure that the clearing limits of the area around the isolated land subject to flooding is maintained after the work is completed?
Oh, yeah, the stone wall doesn't do us much good in this case, it's just kind of there.
I mean,
Well,
Right, if it's a resource
my short answer
area.
is no. Because
But
if they're
that-
not doing an activity that is subject to the local bylaw, then they, as far as filling it in, are you saying, or?
Like, how do we prevent them not extruding this into a lawn? And the answer, I would say, is that this won't be cleared past the limit of work.
Yeah. But that's like anything.
No, it
It's like
isn't, that's what the
every
parallel will
resource.
draw.
cleared during construction, but for the next landowner, as we've seen tonight, are they going to know that? Are they going to not continue the clearing and work? I mean, I just,
Right, it's a question of should we put rocks, or should there be plantings, or should there be, yeah, it's the same question we would ask if this was another resource area.
I don't think that, I would not ask them to do anything along it, but I think it should be noted on the plan, maybe that it says that this is a resource, that, additional work beyond this line is not permitted without first going to the Conservation Commission and applying for the work.
And put that
There's
note.
going to be an order recorded on the land,
Okay.
and the plan is going to be part of that order. I don't know what more you could do. That it's obvious that it was jurisdictional, and the
On this
buffers
plan.
are on the plan. And if they're not going to build another house. I think not clearing, so that's all vegetated, right? Mature trees.
Correct.
Right, so I think in this case,
There's a
that's
limit.
sufficient, that there's a clear limit. But
Yeah.
like, if I mean, that's why we asked the question, right? Like,
Well, it doesn't really say, I mean, the construction limit comes to the silt fence, and then there's a silt fence line. It doesn't say that that's the construction limit.
I do, right along here, I have a erosion control
Oh, and
barrier.
construction, in wording.
It does,
It
it
does
does.
say it in wording, I'm sorry.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to slow us down.
No,
That's okay.
I like the colors.
Board, anything else? I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made by Art, second by Katie Grace. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, I entertain a motion. Local bylaw only order of conditions. For the issuance.
Go for it.
Oh,
You weren't working hard
I'll
enough
move to
tonight.
issue an order of conditions for 128 Vine Street by local bylaw only, per the plan that we have here with a regular order of conditions.
And with the condition that they add the silt fence to the other side of the driveway?
Correct.
I
Within
would-
the property limits.
I would not agree with that.
No?
No. We don't need to trap anything between the stuff, the resource area. We always put it, the erosion controls between the work and the resource area. Why do we need to add an additional row?
On the other side?
What's the purpose? As far as what we are in charge of.
That's valid. There's not
We
another
are charged
resource.
with.
There's no other resource area on this side.
No, and everything flows this way, so it really wouldn't.
And I think it's the contractor's responsibility to keep all of their dirt on the property. And I think it would tighten things up if we put a row of silt fence and then you've got another row of silt fence with straw wattles on the other side.
Okay.
Narrows it.
Then we won't do
Friendly
that.
amendment, I'm just,
No. Is that?
okay, Mark?
Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Motion's made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very
thank you.
much.
Certainly.
Okay, moving
42
right
next.
along. Are you 42 also?
42, yes.
Hurry? Okay,
Perry Street.
all right. Next item, public hearing, notice of intent, 42 Perry Street, new dwelling, Nicholas Meadows. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516. Legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on December 6, 2021 at 7 p.m. for an NOI filed by Nicholas Meadows located at 42 Perry Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of a single-family house and appurtenances. Proposed construction activities are within 100-foot buffer zone of a burning vegetated wetland. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the NOI may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205, November 18th, 2021. Okay. For the record, name and address.
Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Nicholas Meadows for a proposed four-bedroom house at 42 Perry Street. Okay, so just to get your bearings, I'll look at the smaller scale up here. This is a retreat lot, so there's a long driveway that goes up into the back lot there, and there is a large shrub swamp in the back of that property that I delineated. So you can see the wetland line in the buffer zone. So we perked this in, I think it was in September.
so we're getting, shut it down. Thank you. Do you want to give it a second?
Not again.
That's what happens when you don't have
It's the
password
second time. We get bombed by a whole bunch of folks.
It's a whole thing.
They got nothing better to do with their time.
Okay. Sorry about that. Does anybody else want to look at the plans while we're getting back up and running?
Well, you said it was a retreat lot. How many actual feet of frontage do we have, do you know?
155.
So that's how we get around the 200-foot rule?
Correct.
Yeah, the minimum's 40.
Is there a reason we skipped over the Shore Road NOI?
Yeah.
Why?
Yep. Because I'm leaving the meeting.
So
After.
so it
Yeah.
just got pushed to the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope, we're going to go back to,
Okay, no problem.
Katie Grace is going to take over.
I forgot something.
All right, well,
No,
there,
no problem.
so if you could just give us an overview again of, I don't know if anybody's on for this yet, but,
Just give it a few minutes so that the people that broke in will hopefully go away and then we won't hit go again.
Really, go
Okay.
ahead.
yeah, let's move forward.
Okay, so basically, it's a four-bedroom house with a septic system and a well. Steve, I did, the original plan, I'll just briefly show you that. I had the house more towards where the access way is, and there was a whole lot more buffer zone impacts. So Steve brought up, had a comment about to try to move it further away, so I did. We did move the house, so it's outside the, actually, the house is outside the 100-foot
Yeah.
buffer zone,
Looks great.
but the driveway still is because I have to work around the septic. And we were able to eliminate about 2,000 square feet of buffer zone impacts.
Okay.
What's the grade on that driveway? I noticed you put some swales in.
I'd probably say it's about 4 to 5%, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Yeah, where are the swales ending?
Well, actually, they're just going to come right down along the driveway, and then, like I said, I put check dams in just to slow it
okay.
down, and then it just eventually will just dissipate.
Oh, this is only half the property.
Oh, there's more driveway.
Yeah.
Is there a detail for the check dams?
Just trap rock. What I try to do is pitch the driveway a little, so all the drainage stays on that side of the driveway, and not over towards the septic system.
Right.
So I just created a little swale with just, little stone trap rock berms.
And that goes all the way down to the street?
No, it goes all the way down towards the wetland.
Okay.
So it's just going to be a vegetated swale, grass swale with stone berms to just slow things down a little. I don't anticipate it's going to be that much water.
Still quite a bit of distance from when the detailed plan starts to where the road is, right?
Yeah, but there's actually halfway up there, there's kind of like a little high point. And so halfway down that access, part of it goes towards Perry Street, then the other part comes down towards the lot.
But jurisdictionally, we've got, you see the 100 to the 50, which are ending before at the 60-ish. You have a
Correct.
little wave thing right there.
Just a little swale.
Why didn't-
It's just a little swale.
Okay. So we're looking at, so trap rock berms to be placed every 50 feet along grass swale. Okay. Could you, Maximize that screen.
What is the wall that's shown that's going around the driveway?
It's just a, what do I have? It's a 3-foot stone wall, whether they use rocks that are on site or they get fancy and they want to come in with the blocks, the Versalock, just to catch the grade so I'm not grading out.
Eric or
Does
Art,
it
you want
call
to see
that
this
out on the
plan?
plan? Because I don't see it where it's
I don't-
it's a rock wall.
No, I don't show a detail of a rock wall. A lot of times when we do septic designs, just to catch the grade, we're just 2 to 3 foot. I don't like to go any higher than a 3-foot wall.
You have top of wall and bottom.
Correct.
too, right? So the extent of the activity within the 100, do you have,
Yeah, actually I
The
do.
calculation?
So on the revised plan,
yep,
0 to 50, there's no impacts. And then 50 to 100, I have 8450. Then, like I said, the original plan was 2,000 square feet more of buffer zone impacts. But still, in the original plan, I was within the 50-foot buffer. Now I'm outside the 50-foot buffer, except for the erosion control.
okay. And do you have silt fence and straw wattle for
I
erosion
just
control?
have
Compost stock,
straw
12
wattles.
inch? 12-inch straw wattles, okay. Right, board, any questions? Eric? Art?
No.
Mike? Any questions? Mark?
No, not at this time.
Did you say the Board of Health has approved this one?
Yes.
Is the driveway paved or is it gravel?
I have asphalt grindings. Typically, that's probably what he's going to do for something that long.
And that's called out?
If it's not, it should be. I don't see it on there. But typically, that's what it,
I mean, asphalt grinding versus pavement. What's that? Oh. No, that's septic.
That's the subject.
Yeah. Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns on 42 Perry Street? Anyone in the audience? Steve?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Look at our cheat sheet. Pavers.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if the plantings for the drainage swale, is that just regular lawn grass, or are you gonna do something that's more meant to be in a swale?
right now, just vegetated.
Vegetated. Are you gonna seed it all, or just let it grow in whatever makes
Well,
sense
the
there?
contractor will most likely hydroseed it.
Okay. I was just gonna recommend it be something other than just regular lawn grass, just to withstand the water.
Could do a conservation seed mix or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mark, the original plan, because I had it checked off, had proposed asphalt driveway.
Did I not put it was on the original?
It was by one of the check dams, so because you eliminated it, it was so close to wetlands, you probably just deleted it by accident.
Okay. Typically, I usually put it on there, so,
Did you check the wetlands across the street?
yeah, there is a shrub swamp across the street, so I don't know if anything from that driveway is ever going to get across the street, though.
It's there.
Were the taxes paid? Were the taxes paid? Are the taxes paid, up to date? Or an agreement made? That's the other thing on Steve's list.
I'm assuming it is, because a lot of times that gets picked up at the, going through the Board of Health. Can't do a perk test without the taxes being paid. And we just did the perk tests in September, so.
Well, we had another payment on November that was due, November 2nd.
I don't mean to laugh.
Is the owner on here? Is the owner here?
Potential buyer, I don't see his name up there.
Okay. The other,
The sale of the property won't go through until the taxes get paid, and the sale doesn't go through, this isn't going to happen.
right. And I believe historically, we've required the buffer zone to be shown crossing the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then we need verification that the taxes were paid. And then you could put the driveway detail on, the vegetation,
yep.
just seed mix. Steve,
Yes,
did you see anything on the taxes? You
I
didn't?
didn't.
Okay.
I can check on it before I hand out the order conditions.
Yeah, I think historically, we've had to show the buffers for across the roadways, right?
Yep.
You should.
Yeah.
Can I request that that be conditioned?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know, because my client wants to purchase the property, and just, they wanted to make sure he got permitted before he,
Yeah,
you know.
we understand. I can put that to the board on those items that revised plan, the items that we're requesting to be shown on the plan, conditionally for the order to be issued, to be released, I guess. Mark, what do you think?
Being that our next meeting's not for another month, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Katie Grace?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, all right. Again, anybody in the audience have any questions, concerns on 42 Perry Street? Okay, I entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So,
Motion made by Art,
Seconded.
second by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemai.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay. Entertain a motion to issue with the conditions previously discussed.
Yes, move to issue the order of conditions for 42 Perry Street with the understanding that we're going to revise the plan to show the wetlands across the street, add the detail for the paved driveway, and add the detail for a native seed mix for the plantings and the vegetated swales as opposed to grass.
And taxes need to be paid.
And we will verify that the taxes have been paid or will be paid at the time.
Motion's made,
Second.
second by Art. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemai.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back to you in a second. Okay, certificate of compliance, public meeting request for a certificate of compliance should not be under public meeting, Steve.
Which one?
274 U Street, Country Home Builders, Inc.
Well,
Anyone here on behalf of this filing? Oh,
I
come on.
can be.
Oh, yeah, sure, come on over. So you've submitted the request, the as-built, and the letter of substantial compliance?
Yeah, I think Steve should have all the paperwork and the,
Everything lines up and stabilized?
here's a video, a quick video if you want to see it.
Sure.
he did a nice job. He did.
Yeah.
Good, like the
Practice.
vegetation.
Oh, I thought you meant Steve with the
He
video.
takes good videos, too.
This was
what
done
is
about a
that?
month ago, so the grass, I didn't go back out, but the grass has been established.
Doesn't take very good video.
Okay.
He needs one of those filming dollies.
Yeah, the grass has grown quite a bit since then.
Okay. Oh, nice split.
It's on the plan.
Right, wow, matches up.
Yeah, he fenced the whole backyard instead of just putting up sections.
You know, all the trees are planted and bushes.
Yep.
Split rail.
It depends on the aesthetic. It matches this aesthetic.
So
And the fence has plantings.
on the plan, it looks like the plants are on the wrong side of the,
Well, instead of
Fence.
going on the other side of the fence, he kept him on this.
okay.
Fine.
Stabilized. Septic. Okay. Yeah, those rocks are extra.
That's a retaining wall.
Okay.
Yeah. Two.
Yeah,
Between the 100 and, like at the 80.
find them when they're digging out the septic leach field.
Oh yeah, look at all those rock retaining wall. Okay. Board?
I think it
Any
looks
questions?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Flagstones and all.
Yeah, he did a nice job.
Is there an as-built plan?
Yes.
There is.
Steve will pull it up. Steve, if you could pull that up, please. I don't have a hard copy, if that's what you're looking for, but maybe we should get the hard copies. They're just a bit easier to look at.
Wait, can you see it?
Yes.
I like that deck better.
Probably the wood. Okay, board. Anyone wanna, I'll say a motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Seconded.
second by Katie Grace. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. We here for Cedar Street also? Yes?
Wow,
Yes.
you're busy.
Okay, next, a request for a certificate of compliance, 76 Cedar Street. Steve, if you could pull up that as-built plan.
This is one of those jobs that was done quite a while ago.
Yeah, we're doing some cleaning.
Right, they need the certificate.
Yeah, about 90 orders ago.
Right, quite a while ago.
Yeah. Steve, could you please pull up 76 Cedar? Oh, thank you. Do you have any revisions to the original approved order plan? Any, something out of compliance?
No, pretty much the house and went right where it was supposed to go, and they stayed within the confines of the erosion control that was installed, so that the well got moved just a couple of feet, but that's about it.
Okay. Farther away from the resource area? Yeah. Oh, no,
It's the same
farther, oh.
It's
This-
further away from the house.
Yeah, okay. And everything's stabilized, what year was this?
Oh, geez,
The foundation says it was from 2017.
That sounds about right.
Oh, okay. Built
So
27.
everything's grass.
It just says existing foundation built 2017. So,
Okay. Board, any questions, concerns? Entertain a motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
So moved.
Motion's made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Pompey, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
I'm still looking at it, sorry.
Okay,
I
that's
just
fine.
don't-
You don't need a vote. You got
No, I
enough votes.
don't, This is technically, all right, then I'm abstaining, and it's only because I didn't look at it long enough.
Okay. All right. That's fine for the record. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Next one, public hearing abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, ANRAD 105 and 126 Gilboa Street, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on December 6, 2021 at 7 PM for an ANRAD filed by CRG Services Management LLC located at 105 and 123 Gilboa Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves the delineation of Gilboa Pond, Munford River, bordering vegetated wetlands, and an unidentified pond. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, the public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the ANRAD may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205, November 29th, 2021. Appeared in Worcester Telegram, Monday, 11/29. Steve,
Yeah.
is that 5 business days? 11/29?
Today's the 6th.
Right. So it was Monday,
This week was full of business, oh, today's.
Monday, 11/29. I don't believe you have 5 business days before the meeting.
Well, it was in, the 29th is day one.
No, it's not. Today is not. It's
Today
5 days,
counts.
5 days before, prior to the meeting.
Yeah, but this, today counts, but the 29th does not, is what
Correct.
you're getting at.
Yes.
So the 6th.
No,
It went in on the 29th,
yeah.
so you got the
That doesn't
30th,
count,
the
yeah.
1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and if you're counting today, that would be 5.
Steve, could you just double check for me, please? I don't think if you're advertising on the Monday, I don't think you don't have 5 business days prior to the meeting date.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today.
Well, it depends, because the newspaper shows up on your doorstep before the business day starts.
I don't know. I know there's a specific rule. All right, so we'll just proceed like we are. So is anyone here?
It ran on the 29th, right?
Yes,
So you just gotta know if, is that day 0 or day 1?
right. If you
It's
could
day
just read me the
That's day
requirement.
0,
But I still think you have 5.
but you got 5
I don't
counting today.
Yep.
Okay. All right, most likely it's fine. Is there anyone presenting for this hearing?
Yes. My name is Todd Maury from Beals Associates.
Hello, name and the address also?
200 Park Plaza, I'm sorry, 2 Park Plaza, 200, Boston, Mass.
Okay,
And just for the notice issue, I've run into this quite a few times in the past. If you don't count the day that it was actually put in the paper, you have the following day, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And today.
And then today, which was Monday.
5.
was 5 days now.
Yeah.
Okay,
If you back it up and you do count the day it was in there and don't count today, you still get the 5 days.
right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, where we're running into trouble is if it goes in on a Tuesday, the hearing's on a Monday.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's not good. So it usually works if it's the same.
Okay,
So my understanding is that tonight, there is no DEP file number issued just yet. There is, this will be sent out to peer review, is my understanding. We've seen the proposal for that. I believe it was Mr. Allen will be taking a look at the delineation that was done. And we were fine with that. I do have a brief presentation that I can scroll through if that's okay with the commission. And
So real quick, so I gave everybody a copy of the proposal for peer review. If you accept that, then I can
Yeah.
work with Fields Associates. That would be something that the applicant would have to send us a check to cover the cost of the peer review.
okay, so the total proposal is $2,900 plus hearing site walks are hourly rate at $140 port to port plus mileage. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this proposal to move forward with the peer review.
So moved.
Motion's made,
Second.
second by Mark. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Mopmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemi.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. And then you could run through, do you need to do screen share?
yes, please.
Okay.
And to the check, should we just send the 2,900 or should we anticipate there's going to be more, I'm sure, for the sidewalk and hearing on that?
Steve, you want just the 2,900 for now, correct?
Just do that for now.
Yes.
Okay. We'll shoot that out tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
Share the right one. Bear with me just a minute. I'm not sure I shared that one. There. You can see a screen that says Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, December 6th.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect, all right. So we're here on behalf of CRG, as noted in the order. Typically, when we go to these meetings in person, a gentleman named Fred Ferraro and another gentleman named Frank Pinnis is with us. Once we get through this step with the ANRAD, obviously we'll be filing a notice of intent at some point in the future for a project. Those gentlemen will be with me as well at that point. The site that we're talking about in general, it's right on the Douglas-Uxbridge line. Actually, a portion of the land is in Uxbridge, and we did some of the delineation in Uxbridge, which we'll talk about in a moment. It's bounded by Gilboa Street to the north, Northeast Main Street generally to the south. Again, the Uxbridge-Douglas line comes right through here, and just a bearings also, Route 146 comes diagonally across over here in Uxbridge. The property itself is about 5 parcels that are being combined here. The whole thing will total about 112 acres. It'll have frontage on both Gilboa Street and Northeast Main Street, rather. We're still working with the town. Depending on the final outcome of what we're doing here, as well as what the final site design ends up looking like, we're not going to purchase the entire piece that the town owns around Gilboa Pond. There'll be a setback. It'll probably be 100 feet to 125 feet coming back off the pond that we don't end up purchasing. But we're working with the town and to confirm that shape. There's a current gas easement that comes along the southeast side of the property down through here. In this aerial photograph, you can see where the trees are cut out through that section. There's also a former electrical easement that comes through here. It's been pretty much abandoned as it came across through the years. The site itself is really, there's 2 distinct areas. There's the main gravel pit that you can see pretty well in this aerial photo. It's got an operating floor, and there's some areas along the edges that have been reclaimed over the years. There's pretty good grass cover on it. Slopes range from, there are some areas that are steep as 1.5 to 1, down to a more gentle 3 or 4 to 1. And then the area that's wooded, which is about, probably about half the site, a little over half the site. There's some pretty rolling and rugged terrain into there that really creates some areas where there's one area where there was we thought it was isolated land subject to flooding. Once we had it flagged up, started to measure it, realized it exceeded 10,000 square feet. So we've actually called that on the pond, that's up on the Douglas side, I'm sorry, on the Douglas side. And just adjacent to that, there were a couple other small pockets, one of which, if you go out there today, you'll see some flagging that has a D series on them. And again, we got through with that and measured that up. That only ended up being about 1,500 square feet. It was about a foot deep at its deepest point. It just didn't hold a quarter acre to qualify as land subject to flooding, isolated land subject to flooding. And it certainly was too small to call a pond. Soils in the area, we anticipate a lot of sands and gravels. As you get down closer to the pond, you start getting a little bit more dense, a little bit more silt content, leading towards some of the hybrid soils that we noticed in the 5 wetland pockets right up on. So this screen here really just kind of zooms in on the main cover sheet for the ANRAD plans and really points out the various areas that we delineated.
I think
In through here, this green area, along with the associated buffers, is where we found the edge of Gilboa Pond. Plus, there's 5 distinct vegetated wetland areas that came in off of that pond. They included in our delineation. We use that as our, also as our basis for the buffer zones. Once you hit the dam, that resource turns into the Mumford River as that flows kind of northerly and easterly through the property, leaves the property, goes up to Uxbridge. And we've shown that here in a blue area, along with the 200-foot riverfront. That goes along with the bank that we delineated. There were some flags that were hung, they may have been hung by Stantec or one of their sub-consultants in preparing for a infrastructure improvement project for the town. So the flags that were hung on the Gilboa Street side, the street side, were hung by others, not by us. We have included them here, just for completeness of the plan, but we're not asking those to be confirmed under this particular ANRAD. So when everything's said and done, if we get to the point where the commission's ready to confirm the delineation, we're only looking for the flags that are off the hung, which is really the landward side. We also did, when we were out there, as I mentioned, we found some of these areas in the wooded area pockets where there's really no inlet, no outlet. There's no way for water to get from the river, which you can see coming up through here, into this area here. There's about a 30 to 40 foot topographic difference from the high point here down to the river, and also from the high point here back into this area that we're calling the unnamed pond. This is the low spot. There's a watershed that's attributed to it. The water inside there was relatively deep. I'd say an order of magnitude of 7 to 8 feet on the day that we delineated all of this. And it's about 29,000 square feet in surface area from our flag. So we determined that was a little bit more than just a isolated land subject to flooding. It should be called a pond. There's no name of it. There's no, it doesn't show up on any USGS mapping or anything like that. But it has the size and characteristics to be called that. Another area that we found was right about here. You can see where my cursor is pointing right now. That was the one that was about 1,500 square feet. We have not included it on mapping. If you go out there today, the D flags probably still are out there. I think there was 7 or 8 of them that I hung up there. Again, that ended up being about 1,580 square feet, about a foot and a half deep at the most when we were out there.
Wait, where is that again? Where's your mouse?
So can you see where I'm pointing? My
Now I can, yep.
Yeah,
I can.
it's right there. So if you go out there, you'll find all these C-series flags around this pond. Right next to it, there's a small little area. It's got a B-series pond.
Todd, can I just interrupt you real quick?
Okay,
So all that whole area you're explaining is in the town of Uxbridge, right?
that's correct. So that's out of your jurisdiction.
So our peer review is really just for everything within the town of Douglas.
That's correct. The reason I've included it on these drawings and the reason that I'm showing this to you is, as you know, there is a project coming through for this property. We haven't completed the exact detail and grading up through here. Once we have that set, my instinct is telling me it's going to be outside these buffers anyway, but I just wanted you to be aware. We did go up there, we did delineate up there, and we are aware of some that we should take these up there. So, as you see a project, I just want you to be aware of it.
Do you guys want to look at it? Thank you very much.
When we get to that step. The Gilboa Pond and the 5 areas of BBW that I mentioned, this zooms in a little bit so you can see them. We started coming down through this area with some flags we were able to tell you left, but with flags. Then we immediately went into a B series as we came up along the edge of the pond. Rather than run the B series right on the water's edge and then come back and duplicate efforts to cut in for the border and vegetated wetland, we just kept the flag going along either the pond bank or the border and vegetated wetland all the way up through until we hit the dam.
No.com.
Once we hit the dam, we switched the numbering on the flags to start an RB series, riverbank, and follow that up to the north and to the east. I thought we were at the town line, didn't quite make it, so we just kind of extended that through. If you go down and walk this area, which I'm sure if you haven't already, some of you will, you'll see it's a pretty sharp break where the river actually comes down. One thing we did notice is that the flags on the other side, the Lower Street side, that were hung by the others, they kind of meandered up and down the embankment a little bit. Again, we're not looking to rehang those, we're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We just included those on our drawing for reference only. As you can see, we didn't get shade on this side, since we're really not really working through here. So we're really just looking for confirmation on this side. And again, this just zooms in on the unnamed pond that I mentioned on the small area. One of the things that we run into frequently is when we have pretty well-established rivers that run into these ponded areas, especially ponds that have man-made dams at the end of them. There's a lot of discussion that we end up having. Is a pond, is a river, and what really is the difference? So we've included this language as well as the next slide in the application book. But really, the things that we look at and we're trying to figure out, did this river turn into a pond or did it not, is, first of all, is there an impoundment that's at least 10,000? The Gilboa Pond, through the years, depending on which set of mapping you measured off of, runs anywhere from about 12 acres up to 15 acres, again, depending on what the source of your mapping is. There is a man-made impoundment at the northeasterly end. The dam is there. I'm sure most, if not all of you, are very familiar with that area. And currently, the way the river appears to come into it, comes into roughly this area here. This is the area that we've shown as a pond, and really our flagging starts right here. Whether this end may be part of the river and future riverine characteristics, it could be. I did not go into this area and take a look at it. What we did take a look at very carefully is this area here, and trying to determine whether or not it had riverine characteristics.
Can you put the map back on?
Oh, I'm sorry. Open on the screen. Look at that. Probably best of this one. So, again, this is where the river comes in. It's definitely riverfront, definitely river characteristics, definitely riverfront area. It does have a definite flow characteristic to it. Our flagging started right about this area here and proceeded up through. I'm showing this shaded in green. This may actually, if you look there, this may actually have some riverine characteristic. We didn't look at it. It's well off our property. It was just out of our scope. This area here is really where we focused. And we observed it on several different days. Starting probably back in May this past year, when we first started looking at this piece of property for a project, and really saw no observable flow direction, which is one of the primary indicators of a riverine characteristic. Obviously, we observed it the day we were out there flagging. I've been out there several times since, most recently being just about 3 weeks ago. This area here, in my opinion, definitely shows no directional flow characteristics until you get right at the dam where the water starts to pull in the boat. So getting back to these definitions, we have well over 10,000 square feet of a water body. We have a man-made and impoundment, meeting the definition of a pond. We also look at where you start talking about definitions of rivers, riverfront areas, things like that. And one of the things that pops out to us here in the riverfront area definition is that if you look at the USGS map, it identifies it as a pond, so your initial response would be it's a pond. However,
You don't wanna
the
read
authority having jurisdiction, you folks,
can't hear.
Conservation Commission, if you go out there and you look at it and you determine that it has riverine characteristics, then you can override that. You can call Gilboa Pond part of the Mumford River, if you see the riverine characteristics out there. I'm assuming Mr. Allen will look at it at your direction.
Yeah.
I'm hoping some of you go out and look at it, if not all of you go out and look at it. And
Yeah, I think the board, so Todd, the board will independently go take a peek at all the flags, but we will want to hear from Art, what his opinion is on that pond area. But if I could just, we've got to move on. We've got a long agenda. So maybe once we have our peer review report back, we can finish the rest of the slides that you have.
that sounds good for me.
Okay.
The only thing I had left was a bunch of historical USGS.
Yeah, looks really interesting.
I mean, Steve, if Steve could put that on the share drive, those look fun for later, for not here.
And then if you,
I can either email it, I think the slide is probably too big, so I can either email it or Dropbox it to.
Yeah.
perfect. And once you get your DEP number, if you can send that along to Steve, let him know.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so we've voted on the peer review, and this is a public hearing. Anyone have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing?
I did have Glenn Kowalski, he contacted me today, just for Todd, that the number that you have from your firm and about a notification to contact you is not operational. It's a fax number or it's a multiple dial number, so he was having trouble contacting you regarding getting information, so just FYI.
Okay, yeah, it's a, what is it, voice over internet? It's
Voice over IP?
voice over internet phones. So yeah, there is a directory you have to dial through to get there.
Can we provide the email instead?
You can send it to him directly, that's fine.
Yeah, I gave him a contact information.
Okay, great.
Okay, board, any other questions or comments? Just wait for Art. Can go out at your leisure. I'll entertain a motion to continue.
Real quick, if we're going out at our leisure, what's the proper entrance to this property?
Todd?
Well, I can tell you the easiest entrance is
All right.
Down through the gravel pit off of Northeast Main Street.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll alert the property owners that at any given time,
Okay.
some folks may be coming through from conservation.
It's gonna be Katie, Grace, and Art.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, we've got,
Property owners in the audience.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Okay, great.
All right.
yeah, good, okay. Yeah, we'll have to notify. Okay. All right.
You can get there if you're willing to wait across the brook.
Oh, geez, no.
I mean,
No,
this
thank
is not the right weather for that.
No, it's not.
I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing
What do you mean it's going to be Katie Grace?
to January, you and her, the dream team, January 3rd,
So moved.
7 PM. Motion made by Art, second by Mark, roll call vote.
Sarah Karas, aye.
Art Martini, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
January
What was
3rd.
the date, January what?
January 3rd.
You think Art will be able to get something back to us, Steve, by then?
So,
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Todd.
weather pending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
okay.
It's always dicey this time of year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Night now.
Good night. Next item, public hearing amended, notice of intent, 69 Woodland Road, Deer Crossing Development LLC, Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on December 6, 2021 at 7 PM for an amended notice of intent filed by Deer Crossing Development LLC located 87 Elm Street, Hopkinton, Mass. 01748 for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act. Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves 69 Woodland Road, revised house location, revised driveway location, revised grading changes. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda, posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the proposed site plan may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205. 1126. Who's here presenting?
Yeah, so just right off the bat, I know one of the abutters I was in contact with, and I just wanted to make clarification that, I don't know if she's on the call today or not, but she had concerns that she was not notified with the abutters mailing properly. And so I printed out copies for everyone. Should be in your folder regarding the Wetland Protection Act regulations, where it says mailing at least 7 days prior to the public hearing, so the town should do timely notice. So she ended up getting her notice, I believe, last Thursday or Wednesday. It wasn't 7 days prior to the meeting. But I guess talking to the applicant and to the chair, it's the mailing, it's the word mailing, not when the person receives it, but when it gets mailed. So I just wanted to make sure that's brought up, because it was, I think her intentions was that the meeting might not happen because she wasn't notified properly.
Okay, so my interpretation, because we've also authorized applicants to use certificates of mailing, Wetlands Protection Act only requires it to be sent out, not any kind of notification that was received. So that's why we do allow for certificates of mailing, which proves that it was mailed. So that's the threshold for the act for notification. Anybody? Okay. Moving forward. Thanks, Steve. Okay. We have a revised plan in our file? Okay. Jack, are you here presenting this for us? Steve, could you please?
Good evening, everybody. Yep, Jack Nealman, 87 Elm Street, Hopkinton, Deer Crossing Development. We pretty much just flip-flop the plan we had before. We used to have the driveway on the right-hand side and the house kind of centered on the lot. Now we moved the driveway to the left-hand side. pulled the entire driveway out of the buffer zone, as well as moved the house up, and lessened the impact of, non-permeable material, about 27%.
Okay, so what was the 27%?
We had a 27% reduction in revised impervious area within the buffer zone. The house came forward and the driveway came through bigger.
Okay. So this is a better plan.
We believe so.
Okay, Steve, what was submitted, is that sufficient for us to, so this isn't even a minor plan change, this is actually an amended request for a
Technically, every minor plan change is either amended or a new notice of intent.
Okay, I'll just,
So, right.
no, that's not true. All
So
right,
they filed for an
amended order of conditions?
yes.
Okay, so the paperwork is going to show an amended order with this plan, which is undated? Jack?
The plan is dated November 22nd, 2021.
Are you looking at the same plan that we have in our hands?
I'm looking at the plan that we submitted to Steve last Tuesday. Steve, can you pull it up on the screen perhaps?
Oh, okay, all right, never mind, sorry.
It's okay.
So you typed that, but you changed
I
everything.
have no idea what's going on here.
So blue is
This is
the
hard to see.
revised location
Well,
with
then
the,
how come blue traces the proposed plan?
It says blue is amended plan.
I know
Blue.
what it says in the block,
Okay.
but when I look at the plan itself, the blue line is following what's called proposed.
So he took a
Building.
new plan and then drew the old stuff on with pink marker.
what's this?
I don't know that yet.
Okay, so Jack, when we're looking at the plan, to the north, it has, you're using blue again?
I think Steve did the coloration. Our plan was submitted back in white.
Okay,
Yeah, I did the colorization. Let me put the submitted plan.
sure.
I did the pink for the approved plan and the blue for the what they're amending.
So you're feeling it.
So they already have an engineered plan for what they're amending it to?
budget for more markers for Steve?
Not the same color.
Correct. We're amending the previously approved plan.
I like it.
Move the house location forward and swap the driveway on the other side of the lot.
And your proposed grading,
Is this coming up? This is the approved plan.
Yep, that's up. Got the driveway on the right.
could you zoom in a little bit more, please? Because Jack, did you revise the grading on the proposed revision? Or did you keep the same grading?
No, we revised the grading on the left-hand side of the driveway. Yeah, it's not on the
It
left.
doesn't look like.
When the driveway comes in on the left-hand side, there's grading on the left-hand side.
Doesn't this look the same as up there?
So this is the old plan, obviously, with the driveway coming all the way down the right around the system, and it's the garage.
Okay.
No, that one's way more curvaceous.
Did you move the limited disturbance forward?
Yeah, so on that far back side,
Previous one.
we're not gonna be doing anything out there, so we're gonna pull the erosion control forward, and let that area, we've already cut it due to the initial plan. So we're gonna let it go back completely naturally.
This, that's
and-
what this is talking about. They cut back to here, but they don't need it, so they're gonna let it grow back to here. And this is separate because there's the well and the siltation.
Okay.
So they're gonna give us back this.
Yeah. Oh, this
This is
all-
too small
This is
for me to
coming
see.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I have this zoomed out like
Yeah,
many,
I
many
can't
times
make head
electronically.
or tails out of this.
Yep.
Steve, do you have full-size copies? that I can come grab, or you can bring us?
The shading is hiding whatever is written underneath it on these.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, yeah, I would ignore the blue at the top on the north side.
Although it does say, area to restore naturally is what it says in the left box, and the right box says, new limit of work, erosion controls.
So that actually was not part of the amended plan?
That's a new addition.
Oh, it is a new addition?
Right, they had cleared that, and they're gonna let it restore because the new plan doesn't require that area to be cleared, but they already did it.
Okay, it's going to be a change.
Right.
Yes, okay. So that section is changing. And then the house is moving.
Yeah, I can see where the proposed four-bedroom house is.
Right at the setback lines.
Yep.
Oh, here's my hero. I hope he brought your notice. Thank you. Art needs one. And can you grab that notice for 32, the new notice for 32 Cottage?
You could also send it to me electronically. You don't wanna walk it. We emailed each other.
Oh, okay, all right.
Helpful.
Okay, so you reduced 27%. What other items? So if you could just run the list of the amendments. Jack, one more time, please.
So the house used to be 71 feet off the vegetated wetlands. Now the house is going to be 79 feet away. The driveway obviously shortens probably less than half. It comes right in off the road. The proposed house that we're looking to build is a ranch. That's why the house comes bigger. Obviously totally out of the buffer zone. So on the original plan, the house was in 1,141 square feet, and we have it now at 909 feet. And obviously the driveway is not in the wetlands buffer zone at all. Septic didn't change. The back right used to have nothing there. Now we're just pulling the erosion control and we're gonna let that area restore. Give a buffer between us and the next door neighbor. Wells in the same location. I think that's it.
It's a previous limit of house and deck.
Eric, questions?
No,
All right,
I can see what I'm looking at now.
okay.
No,
An improvement,
I think the driveway is better on this side for sure.
yep. Even though it was outside of the 100 anyway the last time. So let's just, we should focus on the restoration, so the well's in the same location. The house portion, 50% of the old house was within the 100. Now it's probably like 15 to 20%.
20%.
Yeah. And that's it. So if we're looking at just within the 100, and we've moved the limit of work up a little bit. Mike, anything? Questions? Mark?
Couple things, is there a way that the shed could be shifted so it's further from the wetland than
shed.
at the 50-foot line?
The proposed 12-foot by 14-foot shed?
Is there any way that could go on the right side, where the other house used to be?
Put it over here.
Jack?
I think we'd be willing to do that. It's gonna look pretty awkward until the area grows back. That was clear. It's gonna be kind of a shed built in the middle of the backyard.
What is the shed on? It's going to be stone?
It'll be stone and timbers and the shed on top of it.
So there's really, you're digging down, say 6 inches and putting a bed of stone that's pervious?
Certainly.
And that area's already been cleared? on that side?
Yeah, the whole limit of work has been cleared. So it's blacked out.
Yeah. And it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay because it's already been cleared.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, if you go down the driveway, it's probably better to have it on that side. And then the other side, you're offsetting that shed with the regrowth on the other side. That's 4 times as much as the shed.
It's it's like at the left-hand corner of where the proposed house.
And we did propose plantings along there too? Is that what those little, those little plant
The plant,
Symbols.
little stars.
What are
I
those?
think that's split rail fence or rock delineate the wetland, or the limit of work.
Okay,
Right here. Split rail.
these like star.
Oh, yeah, they're just stars.
No, they're not.
It says limit of work.
So we've got 909 square feet reduction in buffer zone
It says
impacts
split rail
with this
fence or
plan.
rocks.
Okay, all right. So there's going to be a physical barrier, Mark, behind that shed, and it's already been cleared.
Should there be a summary of what the changes are on the plan?
I believe there is.
There is.
I'm looking at a small one, but they've got the revised impervious area and buffer zone.
Yep.
They've got the plan date, revised house size and location, relocate,
Mike, you're hiding it from me.
septic tank, revised driveway, remove
Yeah.
retaining walls, deck and stairs, limit of work, and revised grading from 11/22. So I think the description of the revisions is pretty thorough. And then how it's decreasing our impacts, and they're volunteering for that to be revegetated, even that small area. And the previous limit of work is going to be revised on that side.
It's right there. No, see, it's right there. Actually,
No,
it says
that's
it
a-
here too,
That's a,
with an arrow.
yeah, that's a green line, isn't it?
Oh, well, the arrow also points to it and says that it's a 50-foot offset to the wetlands.
That says E, doesn't it?
That's a 5. Also, it says 50-foot minimum and it
Okay.
points here.
All right,
The brown line is definitely a wetland.
so
Then
the
this is
shed's
fine.
outside the 50,
Correct.
yeah, okay,
It's just very close to the 50.
okay. Comments, questions?
Yeah, I don't know if the stairs need to be that far out.
So I believe those stairs are on the old house. I think you left those on there to show you the how much forward the house was coming.
Okay.
The back of that is.
They do look weird.
Yeah, no, those are not from this,
They're
the
extra
proposed
stairs.
new house. He left the back of the old house on so you can see it.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. The house does have the new one does have a 6x10 deck though.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a 6x10 deck. I just don't know why the stairs do that.
Looks like a U.
Floating out that far in that, in that,
No, that seems weird to me.
yeah. I believe that's from the last house because they looked that out the back.
Okay, then if those are the old house's stairs, then where are the new deck stairs?
I know the plans are proposed 4 seasons. Yeah. So I'm not even
So it doesn't get stairs.
So
It
it's
may not, because it's a ranch.
it's a 6x10,
it does.
yeah. It's a 6x10 deck,
Yep. But then
it's right there.
Yep.
So you come out on the deck and then you go here and then
But
down.
why do you do that? That's a weird stairs.
Oh.
And then he's saying that belongs to the other house.
Oh, does it go just straight?
That would have made sense to me.
And then, Yeah, I think that was left over. These ones
But
are
they
left
align
over.
perfectly, which is throwing me off, because I'm like, what did those go to then? Not that it's important, but like, I'm just saying, please don't make the stairs go that far out if they don't have to.
It would be a dizzy stairwell for sure.
That's what I'm looking at, yeah.
And if it's a ranch, you've got too many
It's a
steps.
long
You've
way to
got
go, right, and that's the other
3
thing.
times as many
I was like,
steps.
what's the, if this is ground level and this is, 30 feet off the ground, what is the slope?
It's 583 versus 574.
Okay, so you have to make up
11.
11 feet.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stairs for 11 feet. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top of concrete, first floor finished, 584, yeah. No, that's correct.
Cool.
But they do need that many. Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding 69 Woodland Road, amended notice of intent? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Board, are you ready to make a motion?
Yes.
Close the hearing.
I am making a motion right now to close the public hearing.
Okay. Motion's made,
Second.
seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. Entertain a motion to issue the amended order of conditions.
So moved.
Motion made.
Second.
All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Manjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Have a great night.
Thanks, you too. Okay. Public meeting notice. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516. Legal notice for public meeting, requests for determination of applicability. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for David Mukowski, sorry,
There he is.
on December 6, 2021 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 16 Cottage Colony, and the applicant is requesting permission to erect a removable deck at water's edge. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass, or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021, order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. Public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of this application may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205, November 28th, 2021, advertised 11/28/2021. Okay, welcome. So you were just here, right, for a tree?
Trees down.
Okay, and then you changed your mind and now you want to dock?
No, this was all at the same time.
Oh,
Should've-
oh, okay. Oh, okay, all right.
And we just want to put it, it's 240 square feet. There's a picture of it there. My frontage is 50, it's 12 feet wide, so it's not even 25% of the frontage. Goes out 30 feet, maybe not quite 30 feet from, because it overlaps onto the land. A couple of the legs will actually be on the land, because there's this huge rock and you can't do anything with it, so we're going to cover it with the deck. And the rest of the 1 foot will be on a rock, a big flat rock right near the wall, water's edge, and the others will be further out. There'll be 2 large wheels, like a big at the end of it, that you could literally take 2 bolts off, lift it up, and pull a
Move it up.
long section in.
Okay,
It's not attached permanently, so it's,
okay. No groundwork, no excavating?
right.
Okay. All right, board, does anybody have any questions on this?
Thought he was going to do another Japanese maple.
Oh, we're gonna put that next year. We can't do that now. I'm gonna put one.
Okay.
Nice.
I think my wife wants something different. She doesn't want Japanese, but it'll be better than the Japanese.
Okay, well, I did do the lookup on the Japanese maples, and they are not native, and it is recommended that you plant one of the native smaller maples. Yeah. But, I mean,
Doesn't have to be a maple.
she can look through the catalogs
Yep.
and pick one
Yeah,
in the winter.
pick one.
That's native. Okay, will do.
Okay. Board, any questions or concerns on this?
No.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for a negative RDA.
So move.
Motion made,
Seconded.
seconded. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for waiting.
I know.
Okay,
All right,
I'm out of here.
I know,
Are you guys gonna do meeting minutes? Or are you gonna wait?
maybe.
Okay,
I reviewed them today, so
Okay.
we should do them tonight.
I got
Okay.
quite a few comments when
There are
we
a
get to
lot
them,
of
so we're
comments,
going to
and I
be
wrote
real.
an email with my comments.
oh, okay,
gonna
so
be
why
late.
don't you wait till they revise? If you wanna send your comments also?
Yeah.
Well, because I have questions in my comments, so
I have some
will-
questions too, yeah.
I will want to go over my questions from my
Okay.
email, because there's a number of blanks that need to be filled in the minutes,
Okay.
and I want to see if anybody here can help fill in, and it's mostly people's
Okay, I
names.
didn't look at them yet.
And the number of times, the number of different iterations of Gier and Hanlon, or Gary and Hansen, or Gary and Hanmum, or
G and H.
Gier and
Should be
Hanlon, the number of different iterations of that company, I'd like to know what the name is so that we consistently use the correct name. But yeah, no, there are a couple of items that we would like filled in, and so we will discuss that, but I doubt we'd get any approved.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
But I
very
will
much,
go
everybody.
through the items that we have people here for first, obviously.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to, so for the record,
Taking over.
I'm taking over, and I'm gonna go let me find my agenda, sorry, guys. I'm gonna back up all the way to, I think it was 5 is the first one we skipped.
Yes.
Okay. Still looking for, there.
100 Davis Street.
All right.
I think Mark Allen is here for that. Just,
Yes, this is what I'm
should be live.
hoping.
There he is. And for the
If you
record,
want to come up, name and address.
for the record, Tom McIntyre, the applicant, 100 Davis Street, I guess.
Oh, Peter Michael Business.
Peter Marty Business Park, yeah. So-
Yep, thank you. Steve? I remember this plan. We were gonna do a site walk, which I did not.
Steve's on mute.
Steve, could you not be on mute?
Yeah.
Steve went on a site walk.
He might be there now.
This is no time to go.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Sorry, do you have a question?
Oh, I was opening, we were gonna talk about 100 Davis Street.
Yes.
So you did a site walk.
I did multiple sidewalks.
Oh.
There's comments and questions from over the last 2 or 3 meetings. They reflagged the wetlands. There's some series across, there's some additional wetland flags that I put up that parallel the building granite tech down by where the detention pond is going to go on the property. And there's a wetland across the street that they addressed on the subsequent plan. So I think the last meeting they addressed that. The issue the commission had is that we needed peer review from stormwater management. So planning board sent it out to this McCarthy group. There should be a letter to everybody's forward. And so we use this peer review company that the planning board used. And because if it's a wetlands, there's a couple of additional requirements potentially. And so they noted that, they looked at it, they reviewed it, and there should be a comment letter. And I think Alan and Aaron addressed all those comments. So That was, I think, our due diligence on our part, that I think we had left on the checklist to accomplish. The other major item was the delineation of the wetland flagging. We're just delineating the flagging that's around the associated detention pond project and not the back lots at all.
Yep.
And so, if it is approved tonight, the order condition is typed up and ready to be signed, and in the first page of that order conditions, there is some language regarding the wetland flags and stormwater review report and other documentation that was submitted.
This is the one that only had the pond was in our,
Only the retention pond, yes. Correct.
yeah, okay. This was the roadway we were talking about, right?
Correct.
Okay, I remember now.
Did you manage to get on a site walk, Art?
I didn't.
Neither did I. I mean, honestly,
know if it
I
had
went
been
down there a couple
flagged yet.
times, but it always got too dark outside.
Yeah.
All right. So we have everything we need now.
I think so.
I believe you do.
All right, this is a public hearing.
Can you show us the plan, Steve?
Sure. I don't have anything inside. Mark, do you have it?
You do, yeah, if you want, let me share the screen, I can show it to you.
Should be all set.
Can everybody see that?
No. No.
Now we can.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, so like Steve mentioned, the additional flagging was done here in blue. The approximate flagging across the street was done here in blue. We have added additional erosion controls at the intersection here in this mustard color. Based on those items, and the green area is just sort of a highlight of the amount of area that this notice of intent covers. It's basically the back end of the berm of a drainage basin, and everything's noted that this NOI only covers this amount of work. So we fully understand that the additional lots to be permitted will be done under other or succeeding notices of intent. The other items that Stephen mentioned earlier, from McCarty Engineering, they had a hydrology question related to the basin. We submitted a revised hydrology report just to acquiesce their question. That was submitted and reviewed and approved. They had a question on the fees. Tom has since submitted those additional fees based on the categorical definition of this filing. So I think we've checked all of the boxes that were outstanding on this NOI.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So this is a public hearing. Do we have any comments or questions from the public on this site? Or if you have any other items to discuss, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I was at the site a couple days ago, and it looked fine to me.
Thank you.
I move we close the public hearing.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike.
Mike Greco, aye. I'm sorry.
Mark Monjamai.
All right, thank you. KG Dudley, aye. All right, so then we can issue what are we issuing this time? Sorry, I've forgotten my entire, what I do here.
Well, someone has to make a motion to approve
The notice of intent,
notice of intent with conditions.
and I don't think we have any conditions, and this is just,
Our normal conditions.
Okay, so this, I'm just, sorry, I was just verifying that this is a plan, not just an ANRAD. Okay, cool. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the NOI.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Art, seconded by Eric. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
And KG Dudley, aye. All right, all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not to jump out of order, but the site walk on Gilboa, you can contact me about it, but it would be easier if you do it as a group because we don't allow pedestrian or passenger vehicles into the site during business hours. So if we schedule it for a weekend, it'll be a lot easier to, it would require a half-mile walk otherwise, so.
Okay.
We want to schedule it together.
Steve.
Bob would take you through as well if he wants to. I'll get in touch with Steve. I just wanted to put that part.
Get in touch with Steve, absolutely. No, I prefer that too.
When it's at each individual member's leisure.
I prefer to schedule things as well. No, and the weekend works for me.
It makes it easier for us with the active ongoing operation.
I'll probably be looking at, and not to jump ahead, I'll probably be looking at the 18th.
Sure.
What was the other site walk we had to do? The very beginning of the meeting, we said we were gonna.
Give me a moment. 29 Laurel Glades.
Okay, so we were waiting on something on that site too, so.
Just wanted to put that out in the open.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, we should schedule them, because then when we schedule them, we actually go.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 6, which is notice of intent 32 Cottage Colony, which I have reading from. All right, 32, it's 7 PM. It's not actually 7 PM, it's 9:22. Notice of intent 32 College Colony, David Brown, 32 College Colony, Douglas, Mass. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 13, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on December 6, 2021 at 7 PM for a notice of intent filed by David Brown, located at 32 Cottage Colony Drive, Douglas, Mass. For work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw Law and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed work involves removing an existing 20 by 16 foot portion of the existing structure and replacing it with a new structure of the same size. Earth cuts and fill sedimentation and erosion control devices. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. General Law 3818, the public may participate in the meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website, douglasmat.gov, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the plan may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205. This was posted on November 17th, 2021, so there has been plenty of time. All right, excellent. Names and addresses.
David and Kathy Brown, 32 Cottage Colony, Douglas.
Excellent, thank you. All right. And it is, as it says on the tin, you're going to take out an existing structure and replace it with a new one of the same size?
Same footprint.
Okay.
It has a stone foundation which is falling apart, and they're gonna,
Rebuild the foundation, or?
yes, they're gonna rebuild the foundation, put footings in, building inspector wants, and basically raise the roof.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Steve, did you, oh, you do have, yep.
So this was at the last meeting. The big issue was the existing shed. Proposal he had before the revised plan is that he was moving it further away but closer to the property line, and that was a zoning violation, so I think he's not touching the shed.
Steve, if you don't have the, I sent you a newer, Bill Drexel did a newer set. Effectively, we understood that you didn't want the shed moved, so he did a new set, which I thought got emailed to your office.
This is it right here.
And we're not moving the shed.
No.
Right.
So this plan shows it not being moved.
Oh, good. I thought you were saying it was being moved. I was gonna say,
The previous plan
Okay,
that they
great.
saw last time.
I can't see that far.
No. None of us can.
For a long time.
See if I can bring up the video. So this is the existing house.
You don't have to do anything with the septic as part of this project, do you? Okay.
No. That's about it.
It's just the house. All right.
Same footprint.
Yes. Yeah, it's a nice little, you can't see, there's a nice little diagram on the plan that shows the addition being exactly the same footprint as the little porch in there.
So no trees being removed?
No. I have one tree, it's a great tree.
Anyone that disturbs it.
Stay away from my tree.
No, I'm happy for you to keep your tree.
No, it makes it pretty easy if he's using exactly the same.
All right, and he filed in time, like,
Is it
Eventually get it right.
the dock you're going to be extending, or?
No, he's gonna put his house on his house.
Oh, the house, oh, we got that. Okay.
The docks
Misunderstood.
aren't changing, except I might someday replace some boards that are added.
Okay.
Nope, it's just, we're just looking at the house, and it's, okay, no, it's just, it's not normally this straightforward, obviously,
Yeah.
so this is very exciting.
New house right where the old house was.
And very nice. All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone for the public here on this issue for 32 Cottage Colony? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Made by Art, seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Seconded by Mark.
Mark, sorry, thank you.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Mopney, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem.
KG Dudley, aye. All right, thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the
Notice of intent.
notice of intent, yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Made by Art, seconded by Mark. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Mopney, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem.
KG Dudley, aye. You're all set.
Thank you.
Do I, forgive me, but I'm not fluent in the process. Eventually, there'll be a document, your
That we will have signed, correct?
That
Because
goes with the zoning document, and eventually all that makes it to the building inspector?
I don't know that they all get combined, but Steve, when would,
I would have, you can give me a call, I'll type it up and sign it on January 3rd, and you'll have to record your document to the registry of deeds.
What is the document you give me, I record?
Yes.
That's right,
Okay, I wasn't sure.
but we can go over that.
Okay, I appreciate the help, sorry. Thank you.
oh, no, for sure, absolutely.
A little new to this.
Most of us are, and I appreciate you asking the questions.
Thank you.
All right. The agenda item that we've all been waiting for. Number 17, discussion of a request for plan. Nope, nope,
Number 9.
don't. Oh, we skipped 9. Oh, come on. All right, great. 9, public hearing continued, notice of intent, 148 Shore Road.
How you doing?
We're still here.
You're back.
All set?
Yeah, name and address.
Okay, for the record, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here, back here again to request a permit for 148 Shore Road. This is the lot that's at the very end of Shore Road, right next to the Rhode Island.
Borough, yeah.
Correct. Steve had some comments, and the board had some comments the last time I was in here, and obviously, the biggie is stormwater runoff. So I did revise the plan to include, actually what I did is for the proposed garage, I put in a little, for roof runoff downspout. You can see it's a little micro vegetated basin, rain garden, whatever you want to call it, to capture roof runoff from the garage, and I did another one for the house. And then down below, at the below the septic, I put in another small basin to help capture runoff from the driveway. Just ways to help mitigate runoff on this lot. Well, the best you're going to do on these lots. What else did I do?
So there was a DEP comment, I just want to make sure that...
Yeah.
I'll just bring up this comes up. So this is the DEP's comment on the property. Can you see that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, they're mentioning whether the stormwater standards would apply to a single-family lot. In my opinion, I don't believe so, and I do have something that I pulled right from the Stormwater Handbook, where it talks about the applicability of the stormwater standards, and it says the stormwater standard shall not apply to a single-family house, or it shall not apply to a housing development and redevelopment projects comprised of single-family dwellings on 4 or fewer lots. So this definitely would not fall under that criteria. Even though I think the DEP's thinking that because there's all these A&R lots down there on Shore Road, but I think that's kind of a stretch to say that would be a housing development.
I just want to make sure the commission's aware of what their comment was.
Oh, yeah.
In this area that since it was their technical comment, sometimes we request that the revised plan goes back to them to make sure that their comments are kind of addressed.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. The other piece was, acknowledging their comment about the driveway. Is there anything you have to mitigate the outflow? I see that you have a proposed culvert under the driveway.
Yeah, the culvert under the driveway is a 12-inch culvert, and then the culvert that goes underneath Shore Road there is a 12-inch culvert. And that one right there underneath Shore Road, water from the right and the left flow into that culvert. And I've been out there numerous times during these big storm events, and I've never seen that 12-inch culvert overtopped.
Okay.
So what I'm putting under that driveway is a 12-inch, so, I mean, if Shore Road culvert can handle it, then that certainly can handle it.
No, I was more concerned about the outflow, and I know some of this is outside of the realm of this plan. I was concerned about the outflow of water coming down the driveway. It goes essentially right over that culvert because it would flow down the driveway. It should be caught then by the curb at the end of Shore Road.
Right, what I tried to do, you see some flow arrows on that driveway. What I'm trying to do is pitch the driveway and then have that flow into that vegetated basin.
Okay, yep.
And then from there, I have a little outlet right, that's right just north of the 12-inch Shore Road culvert. If you go over, if you look at that little basin there, and there's a little black, yeah, go back, yeah, right there. That's a little stone overflow weir. So that's the low point.
Okay, so this is in an area that was previously outside of your construction limits, that you've expanded the construction area to create this
Correct.
vegetated basin. What does the space look like currently right there? Is it just wooded?
Wooded.
I like the vegetated basin, I'm just nervous about the tree removal.
Well, I can leave some of those trees in there.
That's, yeah.
The septic and there's room to leave some trees there.
I would just encourage you to leave as many of the trees in that area as possible, because I don't want to lose any of those trees to put in the basin, and if you could even move the basin a little bit closer, because that stockpile area won't be there forever.
It's just temporary.
Right. If you could move that vegetated basin even a little close, I understand it matches your topo lines really nice the way it is, so I don't want you to have to move it too much.
Sure, I can tweak that a
But
little.
if you could tuck it in a little closer to where the stockpile is, because that's an already disturbed area.
Yep.
Again, I'm just trying to limit the number. Without a site walk, I can't tell you which trees could stay or go, so I have to leave that up to your judgment.
I'll just make it a little more compact, keep it over next to the driveway.
Okay, great. All right, so I think that addresses that comment. Because we're trying to make it not just flow right over the road into the lake.
And looking at your topo lines on the driveway, the pitch towards the road is greater than the pitch towards the detention basin. So is there a way that you can put a bump in the driveway or something to better direct that water towards the vegetated basin? It seems to me like it's just going to want to keep coming down the driveway instead of turning and going off.
Yeah, I can come up with, I can try to.
Drainage
Sure.
or a drain inlet or something like that to catch the water with a pipe?
Yeah, I'm thinking, just looking at right at the left side of that driveway, I can pitch it a little more, create a little swale, and then do some type of a little, something right there at the basin to catch the remainder. I'll come up with something.
Thank you. There's also grading on the right side of the driveway, correct?
That's correct, because so actually, because all that water runs down that hill anyways. And so I don't want it to go over onto the neighbor's property. So what I've done is, so right below that little vegetated basin I have up by the garage, keep going up, Steve, right there. So any water, like I said, all that water's coming down that hill, and then I'm trying to keep it on our property, so I created a swale on the right side of the driveway. Just so if those big storm events or whatever, it just staying on our side and not going over onto the neighbor's property. That's what that is.
That makes sense.
I mean, that looks like as significant a swale as you had on the previous plan that you showed us, where you showed the...
Yeah, I know, I
drop.
probably should have put those little trap rock berms in. I can do that here, and with a conservation seed mix.
Did you do any calculations as to the
Yes, I did, actually.
coefficient of runoff and what the increase in runoff is going to
Well,
be?
what I did is, the existing area, that's just the area that we're disturbing. So I have the existing area, which right now is wooded. And then that same area, I did the changes for so the woods is going to get changed to impervious area, roof, driveway, and lawn. So I did do calculations, and up to the 25-year storm event, those basins actually reduce the amount of water that's coming off of there now. But when you get into a bigger storm than that, you don't really have enough room, you know. these stormwater designs and calculations weren't really meant for these single-family lots, you know? They're meant for the bigger subdivisions. So, but for the 25-year storm, it appears to work. And what I also like to do too with stormwater is you try to break it up, you know? So I do have the roof runoff going to 2 separate little basins, and then the driveway going to the other basin down at the bottom.
So you're distributing it, you're
Yeah,
spreading it out.
that's right, yeah.
What's the elevation of groundwater in the areas of these basins?
About 3 feet. And so I have about 2 feet above. You know, you're going to get a little infiltration, but, you know, you have to work with what you have there, you know?
What's the area of disturbance? Area of clearing of the site?
Let's see. I got the buffer zone disturbance, which is about...
That's good.
That's about half the site. So the total buffer zone is 14,500 square feet. Within the 50-foot buffer zone, I have about 1,300.
Okay. Yeah, and again, just trying to shrink that as much as possible.
Yeah, so actually the runoff area is, my calculations, 26,500 square feet.
Okay.
It's my opinion that there's considerably more impervious surface on this plan than what is there now, where it's a wooded site. We're going from a wooded site to paved driveway and roofs and garage and all that, that trees are the best method of slowing down water. So I'd love to see a tree planting plan for this site, where we fill in some of these areas that are being cleared with trees instead of just grasses.
I think that's partly my concern when I was talking about leaving as many trees as possible in that vegetated area is, so I understand that the area on top of the septic is probably going to be lawn, right? Because I mean, that's what happens. And I would say that any area beyond, say, the breakout, I would encourage, you know, you're saying we're going to try and preserve as many trees as possible between the front of the septic and, you know, your vegetated basin there. I would say if you do have to take stuff out in that area, some replantings would be a good idea. It's hard to say because I don't know how many of these are large trees or not, right? Like, I don't.
Well, I think, I think a lot of that stuff could be preserved. So,
okay.
Especially on the right side of that driveway, I can define the limits of clearing a little tighter. And then near that basin on the bottom, I'm going to move the basin over and then try to leave as much as I can.
Okay.
All right, so I'll revise the plan and include that.
I mean, I know it's outside of the buffer zone, so out of our jurisdiction, but if we could get, I think, the right side of the driveway, that could be, if we have to cut trees, can we put some back in that area?
Yeah.
I agree.
No, I hear you. That'll help with the stormwater also, so.
This whole area is terrible, for you know that.
I know.
You know.
You know the history here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone from the public to speak on 148 Shore Road?
I guess I would like to just make a quick comment.
Name and address.
Jean Laurie, 419 Shore Road.
Yep.
Yes, I appreciate your detailed attention to all of this. And you appreciate that spot is super vulnerable. Well, it always has like a big pothole. So I just wondered whether if the driveway was gravel, would that help? That may be a naive comment, but I just wondered if something like that could help.
What is the material for the driveway now?
Probably going to be that asphalt grinding, but
okay.
I'll have to ask the client. But as far as gravel or pavement, it pretty much has the same
effect. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we would put there, and go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and gravel may end up being worse if it starts to run.
Exactly.
The road, it's probably a worse situation.
And the other comment was just, in terms of the groundwater, I know that Amy Nadell, who owned that property, she sold it, she lives across the street, was concerned that since the solar farm was there, the property, she sold that property, she wants this house to work well and everything. But the properties got soggy in the back and wet, so hopefully the solar farm issues will be resolved and not cause a problem for this house.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope, but I mean, we've been tracking Margaret, you've been tracking the site since after they put the solar farm in, so I think you're aware.
Yeah, where this house is going is high and dry, but there is, on the left-hand side, that wetland there, that's where a lot of the water from up on the hill comes down.
Okay.
Through there, but the house and where the septic's going is pretty up.
Okay.
Don't worry about that getting wet.
All right.
Thank you.
Certainly. Greg Bentley, name and address?
Greg Bentley, 119 Shore Road. Just to follow up on Gene's question, it looks like the grade of that driveway certainly probably wants to be paved, but is there any chance of grass pavers up closer to the garage in that hammerhead turnaround area? That doesn't look like it's graded too steeply. I was just wondering. Do you ever utilize any grass pavers or any other porous asphalts or any of those things?
I have when I've done jobs for actually boat ramps and things like that, going right down into the lakes. I've used them. But not on driveways, because a lot of times just regular maintenance, plowing and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but for boat ramps I have.
No, I think, go ahead.
No, I would just say they're pretty common use up and down, and we even use them in municipal parking lots and so forth. So,
oh, wow.
We plow them and everything else. Grass pavers. The porous concrete asphalt is extremely difficult because you got to vacuum it and all that foolishness. But the grass pavers for large expanses of newly paved areas, they work very nicely.
Okay.
And they have virtually no runoff unless they're at a steep grade.
Huh.
All right.
All right, thank you. Consider it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with the other mitigations we have, we can make this work. And any other comments from the public on this site? Okay. Any comments from the board on this site? Anyone here on this one? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion. Well, okay, so I'll ask the question, do we want to hold off? Do we want to continue this until we've seen a revised plan?
Yes.
I would.
Okay. Okay. All right, then I will entertain the motion for a continuance.
I would motion
Does-
that we can, go ahead.
No, date, I'm making sure, Margaret, does January,
I was going to say January 24th.
what's our next meeting?
January 3rd, but I think we're going to get into the same situation as this, and
You think we're going to be too busy on the 3rd?
yeah, this is way too many we've got now.
Yeah.
All right, well, nobody's going to do anything in the winter.
Probably not.
So you're okay?
January 24th.
Okay, okay. All right, I'll entertain the motion, yeah.
I move to continue the 148 Shore Road, was that the right number?
Yes.
148 Shore Road to January 24th, 2022 at 7 PM.
Second.
Motion made by Art, seconded by Mike. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Honjamai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Great.
All right, thank you very much for coming in. Thanks for the updated plan.
Art, do you get a score for the game?
No, I got about I got about 8 minutes to go. My phone has no service here
Mine either.
except for text.
It's really,
But I'm going to have to excuse myself, but I got a 91-year-old father waiting for his meds to go to bed.
All right.
So
Well-
this is too many items. Steve, you got to talk to Maria or whoever.
can't do this.
This agenda length is way too long. We never even got to the minutes. We never got to sign orders. And we're approaching 10 o'clock and we still got
And I am going to push to do item 17 because they're here and they've been here.
and that's
Yep.
going to be a long discussion right there. So
Well, we'll see.
we need to break some of these off, Steve, okay?
I got you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 17, 7 PM, which is actually 9:51. Public meeting, discussion on a request for a plan change to 115 Shore Road, DP 1430914. I guess I'll start with Steve for now. Okay.
So, yep, so we had a request for amended, maybe
You want me to,
we have an existing order of conditions on 115 Shore Road.
okay.
And I got an email from the applicant's engineer requesting a plan change to the original order of conditions. And they're here tonight, and then he sent out the little information of what it is. And so what I did is, I also got verification from the DEP, and this is the procedures we typically use for plan changes. And so everyone should have in their packages a copy of the Wetland Program Policy 85-4 for amending order of conditions.
Yes.
And basically what it says is there's a bunch of steps what people go through. And so typically someone comes in and they either can come in during a Conservation Commission meeting verbally, or they have something in writing, which they did. They did an email and they did a little description on what they plan on doing. And they can come in and talk to you about that after I get done talking. And so that's step one. Step two is basically the commission takes the information and they make a determination if the information is enough where the proposed change should be a notice of intent, a full renewed notice of intent, or if they can amend the original order of conditions. And so if they, either one, if they say it's a full notice of intent, or if they want to amend the order of conditions, then they, if they amend the order of conditions, they use the same DEP number, they don't get an extension on the DEP timeframe. But either case, they have to have a public hearing, public notification, and whatnot. So this process here, which we've had done before, basically they're coming in, making their case that we probably don't need a new notice of intent. We'd like to amend the original order of conditions. And so really tonight's meeting should be about that. And then if you make a determination one way or another, they should have a public hearing, notify the butters, notify the DEP of their changes, and go through the public hearing, just like 69 Woodland did earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, name and address.
My Callis was Alpha Omega Engineering. I'm the engineer for the site, and I'm here with Bob and Dan Miller, the owners. Basically, the change is actually, it's not like increasing any work in the buffer zone. We are just actually pulling the work back away from the wetland. Yeah, this is actually with the grading proposed and the existing grading. Couple here. So if you look at the plan, the contours are the approved elevations, and the retaining walls is what we are proposing actually. So we're pushing the work back away from the wetland. My client, he put a retaining wall to hold the existing septic dirt away from collapsing. So he would just like to keep that wall instead of adding the grading that proposed on the plan, and just keep the wall like that, so everything will be in place. Otherwise, he just have to bring some fill material and add it and grade closer to the wetland.
In this case, you're speaking of a wetland. Do you mean the lake?
Yes.
Thank you.
So instead of getting, closer with the grading toward the lake, he will pull the grading back. He doesn't have to bring any fill material, and this will improve the site grading, so we don't have any erosion in this area. Plus, that area in the wall area, it can be some planting like shrubs or something. So it will be some improvement to the site.
Okay.
And the house actually is smaller than what was proposed before.
Is the plan you had it out, is that a red line plan?
Yes.
It's not the original plan.
Okay.
Yes, this is the existing house, what was built, which is smaller.
Do we have a copy of the notice of intent? Is that what you have on the screen?
This is
This is what he
the
submitted
as-built.
for his proposed changes.
Yeah, this is the as-built.
Yes, you want to see the approved plan?
Yeah, because the changes aren't clear to me. I'd really like to see a red line.
So basically, all the contours on the plan what was proposed, just the wall is just to eliminate all the proposed contours, which is 3-to-1 slope.
I believe this is it.
Yes, so that area on the left-hand side, which is all this slope on the left-hand side of the house.
Oh, okay.
So we eliminating all that, we're pulling all the grading back toward the front of the house, and we're keeping the wall that was put in place to protect the septic. So we believe that's just an improvement to the site, not...
The wall is already in place?
Yeah, there is a wall in place.
But this one's going to be shorter, right?
I'm sorry?
It's going to be not as tall?
It's not gonna be, yes, exactly, yeah.
Right.
Yes,
You're going from 5 feet to 4 feet?
exactly.
Yeah.
So you're only talking about here, correct?
Yeah, this whole area, it will be not, I mean, yes, we're bringing all that back.
There would
And-
not be a slope, it would be a wall?
It will be a wall with steps.
With steps, okay.
Yeah, and then the area, I mean, the house became the house smaller, so he cut some of the house and he put a concrete pad for the propane tank,
Okay.
and this will hide the tank also.
What, is there a construction detail for the wall? I'm not seeing one on the plan.
We can add that.
What is it? Is it
It's like an Allen block wall or Versailles.
Okay.
Is this on the screen, the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, you're showing the original.
No, the photo.
You're not showing a photo right now.
So he put some large block walls, but it will be the smaller blocks, which is similar to the ones on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay, cool.
So if you see the house foundation, it's stepping down. That's for the proposed grading that we had on the approved plan. So all that will remain the same, no grading, and everything will stay back.
Okay, and at this point, we just have a discussion. We don't have a filing yet. Okay.
Yeah, we were hoping this would be like a minor change or like improvement to the site that will be just shown on the as-built.
Right.
But we're not increasing the work.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I don't know, board, what do you think?
I get a feeling you've got some other folks want to talk about this too.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
But I need to excuse myself.
Understood. Thanks, Art.
Yeah. Good night, Art. Good night.
All right, this is not a public hearing, this is a public meeting, but if there are comments from this group from the public that would like to be heard, I'll open it up at this time, but name and address.
Yeah, hi, this is Evangeline Sutter. I live at 117 Shore Road.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I would just like to address this. I think that, that there should be a formal notice of intent filed. My mother and I are concerned about grading contours in between 115 and 117. And we need to make sure that this doesn't send more water into our yard. And it's just a chance, to review it. And so I'd like, for you to consider that. The grading between my, 117 and 115 should be shown on the plan. And I just want you to be aware of that. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. In response to that one, I will say, I would like to see on the plan with the red lines, I would want to see your topographic lines on the updated plan.
I mean, the grading would be actually an improvement because we're not grading toward the neighbor. Yeah, I see.
No, and I appreciate that. That's good. I want to see those things. Right, for sure. All right, Greg? Name and address again?
Greg Bentley, PE 119 Shore Road. I got a few, and I know it's late, so I'll just be quick.
Okay.
We don't feel it's appropriate at all for an amendment. We feel that it should be a new NOI. We definitely, I agree with Madeline. We just saw a beautiful example down the street of grading to maintain water on a proposed property. And this original plan had grading on it between the 117 and 115 property line, between the house and the property line. This one does not. I've seen it with my own eyes. I think I know why, because that water's all going towards 117. So they need to regrade that, get a swale in there or something. There was the original plans, as we understood it, even the revised plan still calls for, quote, existing 12-inch RCP, reinforced concrete pipe going through the property, and it shows it going across the street and through the property to the outlet at the lake. We now know that that's an 8-inch pipe across the street, and we have heard lots of discussion that it's probably not fully functioning through the property. That was, as I understand it, one of the requirements to maintain that existing drainage path. It's been compromised, and we have a history of the last 6 months or 8 months of it going over the road and tearing people's stuff apart. So that has not yet been corrected. I know we got the wild card of the solar farm, but that pipe through that property, the historic drainage path, has not been reestablished, and we want to know when and how that's going to happen. Right now, it's causing, when it overflows, it's now heading, south towards Rhode Island, and it's moving across the front of 117 and 119, and it's coming in greater quantities through the basement of 119 and causing damages and threatening to cause many more in the winter. So it's also going to probably kill the trees on the east side of the road, heading down towards the state line, and possibly threaten that other plan that we just looked at. Something has to be done to make sure that water path, that new water path heading along the east side is changed and gotten rid of. That's probably going to increase the number of wetlands on the other side of the road, by the way, so somebody else is getting hurt. We're curious as to why a wall was built before the plan was submitted and approved, but that's just a discussion for another day, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean, that's something that happens sometimes in these construction sequences, and I hear your concerns for this in the surrounding properties and areas.
Okay, we understood that Grave Engineering was doing the peer review up on the hill for the solar farm for both boards, and we're wondering what their findings were. I know that's not germane.
It's not.
To this, but definitely tied in.
Yep.
And the DEP site visited the whole thing. We haven't heard anything back. At least I haven't been able to find anything back from them.
Nope.
If they made any comment or.
We have not either.
Our other big concern at 119 is that the original approvals also called for the grade of the road to be maintained. What's happened now is property owners graded the road higher to protect 115 essentially, and it may lessen the problem at 117 that occurred last year. We don't know, but we strongly suspect it's going to increase the problem at 119, and when the big one comes and it comes over the road, we think we're going to be the lucky losers at this point in time.
Right.
I don't know if anybody's actually surveyed that regraded road, but we certainly would hope that that could be part of any revised plan that's going to be considered, because we need to know where the low points on this road are. We know that we've had failing culverts in the past.
Right.
And, you know, that's a fairly simple and easy thing to do. I would hope somebody's going to do that, because right now, if that fails, it's not going to Miller, and it might not go to Madeline, but it's going to come to us if it doesn't. You know, it's either going to get us or our neighbor on the other side. It's going to get one of us. And I'd like to know how that is. And then just the last thing I have is one quick question. Do we know if the certificate of compliance has been issued by the planning board for the solar farm yet, or is that still in play? If anybody knows. And thank you.
No, that's outside my jurisdiction. That's planning board, so I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Name and address, Jean?
Oh, 119 Shore Road, Jean Lawrence. Yeah, so I'll just mention, in addition to those things, yeah, I've got Madeline Myers is at her home, and she really wanted to speak, and her electricity is out.
Oh.
So I have her on the phone, and she would like to make a comment. Just before she says that, I'm just going to mention that I think the engineer said that this wall was going to be constructed away from the wetlands, but they keep, I think, leaving out the wetlands that is right across the street, which is the crux of where all these problems, I think, came from with the water, because the house is between the wetlands and the lake. So anyway, I really hope that that will be on the map and addressed, because that is a federal wetlands across the street.
Yep.
So I don't know if Madeline will be able to communicate with you, but she's going to try to do so through my phone.
Okay.
Madeline, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm sorry to keep you all awake so late, and I really want to insist that we need a public hearing on some kind of what's going to happen with this road. The town gave permits that, you know, whatever. Anyway, the culvert, the pipe is not functioning. It's not a 12-inch pipe. The historical water flow did not come through my yard. The grading has to be improved. I just can't speak about this enough. It's terribly distressing to have to go over this every other month because of that large structure which was put across from a wetland. Perhaps we can resolve this in a public hearing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Madeline. Just before I lose you, name and address again.
Madeline Myers, 117 Shore Road. My family has been here since 1955, and we never had any problems until the property across from me, you know, whatever, got built or is being built. It's just constant crushed stone. There's never any thought of replanting. There are no buffer zones. It's crazy. But thanks for listening, and I hope everyone appreciates the severity of this problem.
Thank you.
If Jean Lawrence, if I could add, I tried to send a photograph to Steve Ziff. I don't know if he got it. But what happened during all the flooding is that there was a big berm that was put up in front of 115 Shore Road, and so the water came to Madeline. But for just a little bit of that berm broke through, and there was like a waterfall going over that septic system. And I believe that that might have inspired this wall because the waterfall flowed right into their house. And I'm not wishing any ill will towards the Millers. You know, I know they're having a lot of problems and it's probably frustrating for them. But putting that wall there, if the water comes again, where's it gonna go? Like, where is all this water gonna go if the wall's gonna protect the house from the water? So I think the whole plan kind of needs to be looked at, and maybe a solution would be to have some kind of trench or culvert on the in between 117 and 115 Shore Road to direct some of the water that way. But I will try to provide, you know, that photograph if Steve didn't get it, and the videos which would show you what I'm talking about. But the water flowed slamming over that septic system, and then some of it went into Madeline's yard, and some of it flooded the Millers. And I don't wish, I hope that they can fix the problem, and maybe this is a chance to relook at the whole thing and get it fixed so it's good for the Millers and everybody else.
Understood. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, those are the comments. That's the public meeting. All right, so that being said, the only thing that I would have you change on this, based on those comments, is the plan for the drainage, obviously, around the wall, through the wall, next to the wall, whatever. Show your topo lines on the plan. Show the red lines on the plan. Make it a little bit bigger.
This plan was just done for the building inspector. It says proposed wall plot plan because he requested that.
Okay.
So it's not like for conservation, and
Okay.
that's why they have it.
Yeah, no, we'd like to see you.
A plan showing all the grading on it.
For sure. So that being said, I am going to request, and I mean, I'd like to hear what the rest of the board thinks as well, but I am going to request a filing for this. A separate filing. This can't be a minor plan change.
This can be an amended order of condition, like a revised plan.
Well, so, yeah, but you would have to submit an amendment, just like we had earlier tonight. So you would still need to notify and file and those kinds of things. It would be an amendment to the plan, for sure, but you would still need to file. Is that correct, Steve?
So, yeah, so your choice is either file a completely new notice of intent, or they file an amendment to the original order of conditions. And in either case, it's the same process as like having a public hearing, send a copy to the DEP, notify your butters, add in the paper.
Yep. But for sure, I appreciate you bringing this to us before, or now, so that we can have this discussion part, so that we can talk about the things that we're going to be looking for in this plan.
For the issues across the street in the road, this has nothing to do with what I'm proposing here, so.
The only thing I will mention, and I think you already have this on the plan, is you've got to show, and you got to, well, no, not only that, you've got to show your 50 and your 100-foot buffer from the wetlands that's across the street.
Sure.
And to note, the plan, what he's showing on the plan you showed tonight is the existing, like 69, it should show the proposed one. And then
Yep.
Right line, show hopefully the existing matches up to what was approved in the order.
Right. And then, yeah, go ahead.
We'll have a large plan side by side showing what was approved and what is proposed.
Okay, yeah, it's side by side on top of each other. Both those are great. I mean, the more you can give us, the easier it is to work with these things. And then the only thing I would also show, it's pretty clear that I believe that the property line that you have here on the front of the plan lines up with where the driveway is?
Yes.
Okay, so those are co-located. I don't need a separate. I just, because there are so many concerns regarding the driveway, at least showing where the edge of the driveway is, and then with your topographic lines, we would see where the driveway is related to everything else.
The driveway is not built yet, it's just everything is dirt right now.
No, I meant Shore Road. Show up to the edge of the property and where Shore Road is.
Okay, it is on the plan actually. The two concrete bounds are the edge of the property on the plan.
The two.
Confusing though, where's Shore Road?
Shore Road?
Way up here?
Oh, the edge of the travelway.
Huh?
Yes, this is the edge of the travelway.
Okay. Yep, so these two squares
Yes.
are the property corners
Yes.
and the edge of Shore Road.
It's outside,
Okay,
so.
cool. Nope, that's helpful, thank you.
No, which edge of traveled way is that? Is that
The gravel road.
No, I understand that. Is that the western side of travel of the road, or is it the eastern side of the road?
The far side
Where
or
it
close
says
side?
edge.
I believe it's the western side.
So what's in the gap between, oh yeah,
What's in between the road and the property?
Still
there's a
dirt.
power pole there, so that mustn't, that
Yes.
can't be in the road, right?
Correct.
Yes, that's.
So this is essentially the driveway?
That's basically an area between the
Huh.
property line and the travelway.
Okay,
It's still a gravel area, but the
Yeah.
basic travelway is from the utility pole out.
I don't want to get off track, but who owns the property between the property line and the edge of the road?
Oh, that's a big issue.
Okay, thanks. Yep, nope, understood.
Because the ownership of the road and all the stuff that's been going around.
Yep, nope, that's considered part of the road. Okay, no, that's fine. I appreciate the way that's actually shown on the plan. That's actually shown very well on the plan.
It
Okay.
also came up about the potential or possible wetlands across the street,
Yes,
and if
we're
there's
gonna-
a buffer zone for that, that
Yep.
should be indicated. And you may mention the fact that, this change has no impact, but it does have an impact. I mean, as the neighbors have said, there's been an impact, there is an impact, there's an impact on the road, and we want to be able to.
It's downhill from the road, so the water is not going to travel uphill. So the only impact will be on the lake itself, but we will show all the gradings.
Okay.
Excuse me, this is Greg Bentley again. Is it possible that we can get the road grading and the reestablishment of the 12-inch pipe on this revised plan?
No, it wouldn't, I mean, Steve, you can speak if I'm speaking incorrectly, but it's outside the property line of this plan. It has never been part of the plan. You would be extending the extent of the plan.
Well, the original plan and approvals required that 12-inch pipe to remain in full function, and it's not, even through the property, even within the property. And it also required the grading of the road to be maintained, and now we've got different grading of the road. So, I mean...
I will look at the original plan, but
The pipe is underground, so...
No, I understand.
We're not touching the pipe.
No, but you're showing it, which is good, and you'll show it on the original plan.
But we want to know that it's working, and we know right now that it is.
I understand, but that's not what this plan does. But if that was the intent of the original plan, then I guess it would show it, but that's not part of the amendment.
Those two requirements were called out in the approval, that pipe had to remain in full function at 12-inch, and that the road grading had to be maintained.
Okay.
Those were specific
That's ZBA. You're looking, that was a ZBA decision, I think you're referencing.
Okay, so that has no bearing here?
Well, it's just the amendment is, if you're gonna go with the amendment, you take the original plan.
Jesus Christ.
And then you show on the original plan what you're amending. What you showed tonight wasn't the original plan, so.
Yep.
If I can just comment that I think that that waterfall was because of the lack of drainage, and that was going over the septic requiring the new wall. So they are kind of related.
And that was all because the pipe wasn't functioning.
Right, but
Yeah.
you make,
Right, so the purpose of this meeting is to determine what kind of full notice of intent or an amended notice of intent.
And we're going for an amended notice of intent, and that's what and we're talking about with the things that we want to see on the plan. And the grading will be shown, and that's where we're at. All right.
You said the wetlands would be shown across the street, right?
The wetland buffer zone, yep.
But if that wasn't on the original plan, it will need to be now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This is Conservation Commission. We always ask for the buffer zones to be shown on the plan. Whether or not they were the first time is beyond my knowledge, so. All right. We are done with comments from the public. I'm all set. You guys know what you need to do. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for
Have a good
speaking
night.
out of that. All right. I don't have any further actions. That was a conversation. I already put away my agenda. All right, we are not talking about meeting minutes tonight. I'm not even going to apologize. I did go through these. I did submit comments. I do have some questions. I didn't copy the rest of you guys on my email. I copied Art and Steve. I just want the correct name for the business that was referenced, and like some other people's names were missing. And if Steve or Art knows those people's names and can help me fill in the blanks, then that's great. What else did we skip at the beginning? We skipped orders to be signed.
Oh, orders.
Oh, yeah. Do I need to, Steve, do I need to sign these orders?
Yeah, you actually sign those orders.
All right, this one is for 100 Davis Street. Isn't that the one we didn't approve today?
We approved it today.
We did approve today. All right, so I'll sign those. And then the other one is, the other one we approved, that was the tree. This is the, yeah, we already did. Okay, great. So we'll sign those for you tonight.
Great, thank you.
All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mike moved and Mark seconded. Roll call vote.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
All right, we're adjourned.